obviously this is the first PT Culture Cave podcast that we're doing. What I was going to do was bring each one of the culture team up one by one, so they can give us a little bit about their backstory, where they're going, where they want to, what they're up to at the minute. And then what I do is bring everybody up together, and then we'll start firing questions from the audience and going from there. If that sounds good with you guys. Azurian, you're the only one in here. So do you want to come up first?
There we go.
How you doing, mate? You all right?
But now I can't hear you on speaker.
Oh, you can't hear me? I can't work out how to get the speaker. I had to put headphones in.
Okay, there we go. I got it.
How you got it? How you doing, mate?
Good, good. How about yourself?
Yeah, all good. All good. So yeah, as I was saying, this is our first Culture Cave podcast thing that we're doing. How did you get started? How did you get hooked?
I was kind of a late bloomer to the psychedelic scene or mycology scene or mushrooms in general. And I tried, yeah, I tried them, and I kind of was just like, I kind of want to see how you would grow these. And then it just so happened that like a buddy of mine knew somebody who was retiring, and he gave him all of his equipment, and then my buddy showed me how to do it, and then he retired, and I got all of his equipment. Short story. So I got all the equipment, and I didn't want to put it to waste. You know what I mean? I had to use it.
Nice. And what's your plans for the future? Where are you heading?
I kind of I just started chasing mons and doing my own crosses and things like that. So I think that's kind of what I got so much stuff that people have sent me. It's like I can't even touch half of it, or I wouldn't be able to for years probably. So I might as well just work on my own stuff and get some cool new crosses out there while I'm at it.
So you crossing your own stuff at the moment then?
Yeah.
Nice. What are you working on? What's your favourite, or what's your favourite that you like to work with when you're doing a cross? Because a lot of people like to use specific land races or.
Right now, I'm just I kind of went for the gusto and went for like potency wise, like albino blue Vuitton. I got a Montevideo, green toque, hell monkey, which is hellhound and space monkey. I got bull run, white billy, a few cool ones that I'm excited for. So, and I'm kind of just gonna throw everything at everything and see what sticks.
Just keep throwing it, see if it comes out.
Yeah.
And you said you was late into the psychedelic scene. What age was you when you got into it?
Probably 31, around there.
No, not.
And I'm like 30. And I'm like 34 now. So.
Yeah, I was 34 the first time I touched psychs, and then something just grabbed hold of me. I don't know what it was. I just needed to know what the fuck just happened to me.
Yeah, same. That's exactly my experience as well.
Nice. And so you're now on Culture Cave.
Yeah. Yes. I have my own thing, Mushroom too. But yeah, if you go through Culture Cave, all my stuff is it'll take you straight to my stuff. So.
Yeah, my someone I know went to Mushroom. They ordered, because you do UK as well then for Mushroom.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Yeah, well, someone said to me that they ordered, someone from the server ordered from Mushroom, and they got it within a few days.
Oh yeah, I feel that. I'm glad they got it.
He said quick. You threw him in a freebie as well. He was well excited. What was it he said that you threw in? Can't remember now.
Yeah, I always try to throw in like
brain frost. I think it was. Is it a Jack Frost mutation?
Oh okay. It might have been some of blue stuff is listed on there as well, so it might have been from him too. So.
Quite possibly. I see Hyphal's in here now. Should we bring Hyphal up with us?
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's do it. I've got to work out how to use all this stuff.
I'm new to this setup as well. That's why I was like, I got on voice chat, and then you were playing through like the normal speaker on the phone instead of like out loud on speaker.
Yeah, I can't work out how to get it through my speaker on my phone. I had to put a headphone in the end.
Yeah, if you swipe up on the bottom bar, it'll say change audio output, and then you can change it.
I swiped up, it came out of Discord. How you doing, Hyphal?
Wow.
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, I can hear you.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Nice.
How about
What's going
yourself,
on?
Hyphal? How did you get into it all?
The cultivating or
Sykes
partaking?
in general, I suppose. I take it started with Sykes and then you moved into cultivation.
Yeah.
Unless you started cultivating first. That'd be a new one.
No. It started about 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago. Getting into like the whole microdosing thing and even other sites like ketamine. So I started microdosing thing, and I immediately felt like beneficial that like it's very beneficial to do that kind of stuff, as well as uh one massive trip, you know what I mean? That kind of jump started the whole cultivation thing. It
Yeah, I
kind of like
started off as a
told me
microdoser.
like it's time to do it, you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, I started cultivating about three years ago, getting into uh like all I was getting was LCs and all in one bags, and then breaking it up, whatever, when it's ready to fruit. And then I completely remove it out of the tub and then put it, or out of the bag and put it in a tub with perlite, whatever, like a shotgun shooting chamber. So I was
Yeah.
doing that for like a year and a half, and I had absolutely nothing in this spare bedroom that we got. So I had like tubs scattered all about the floor. And
Just
then,
scattered everywhere.
yeah, and then everything kind of took off from there. Like I'm running out of space now.
It
I
don't
feel
take
that.
long to build up, does it?
No, man. Even with your 72-inch stainless steel tables and big flow hoods, fridges, tents, tons of tubs, yeah, shelves, and then all the
It
art
adds
you
up
got to
quick.
put in your room as well. Yeah.
The vibe.
Yep. Yeah. You're talking about crosses, stuff we're
Oh
working
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like 90%
Sorry,
sure I
go
got the
ahead.
bull run white billy going, and I guess I got a whole bunch of other mons that I got that I just started working on in the past like week, and there's like probably 4 or 5 of them that I've gotten.
Nice.
So
My whole
it's
thing that
get
I'm
wild.
working on with the crosses is bringing that wild landrace DNA back into these inbred mushrooms that we're seeing,
Yeah,
kind of reset that DNA in their
I've heard a lot of
genetics.
talk about that. Bring
Yeah, I've
back
been
some
doing that for
healthy,
quite some
vigorous.
time now. Yeah.
Yeah,
But by bringing the lab racing, what does that do with your? I'm not up on obviously not like you guys, but I know that I've seen it when people bring the racing to bring the vigor
Yeah,
back into it. Is it?
as well as like equal out their alkaloid content as
yeah.
well, not just psilocybin, but everything else. Because I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe ACS knows more about it, but when we're seeing these mutated mushrooms and like really long lines, like F8 nerds, for example, that's
Yeah.
what, about a year and a half old. Um, I think all the alkaloids within these mushrooms, everything that makes up the whole psychedelic experience, not just psilocybin, starts to, I don't know, degrade a little bit.
I feel that. I feel that.
And I think that wild DNA from I'm using a lot of the Aussie cubes as well. I think it brings that vigor back. It'll like bring that alkaloid, that natural alkaloid content, what they have out in the wild, back into these inbred crosses.
That's always more enjoyable for me. The more balanced
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, I like the mutants and whatnot, but I'm more about the mushrooms looking like mushrooms. If that makes sense. But I still grow the mutants.
I think
I like my
everybody's got
wild
that
shit.
one thing that they look for, haven't they?
I
Yeah,
can't lie. I like my wild shit. So
yeah. And I really think the mushrooms express our personalities as well,
yeah, I've heard that a lot
and
too.
and our growth space. Like your ABV that you sent me grew quite a bit differently than
Oh
what
yeah,
you do
that blew my
in
mind.
yours.
That
Yeah,
blew my mind. I was like, what the hell?
but
Because like,
it wasn't a tub too, not a
yeah,
bag.
yeah.
But
It's
I
just
found
it was
that's
like
6
I don't know.
bags
It's
right
been
now.
in bags for a while, so like maybe just putting it back in a tub just kind of made it go a little weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm putting some of my stuff back in bags. See how it goes, because not everyone grows in tubs. Not everyone grows just in bags. You know what I mean? I like to
Yeah.
see how they'll express in each of them.
I find that I've grown a few of Moondaddy strains, and that's what I was looking forward to speaking to him about it, because when I find that obviously he grows in bags, but when I grow them out, it's almost completely different
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
what you see other people growing in bags. So that obviously the environment or the whole the bag life, if you like, it's his stuff loves the bag life.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, some stuff like
Um,
almost refuses to even go soft sometimes, like my ABV and like white Billy and stuff. Like sometimes you just have to you have to harvest it. Like sometimes it just will refuse to
yeah,
even start to go soft in a bag.
yeah. Once I in a bag, when I start seeing the ones smushed up against the wall start to get that rot, whatever, that's
Yeah,
it. Bag's done. I cut the top off and it's going in the tub.
yeah,
I don't want to deal with the rot because it
yeah.
spreads
I
both
usually
ways
don't get that
on
until
the
like
fruit.
second flush after I cut it open and I've like handled it a little bit. But I do get that sometimes in first
Yeah,
flush too when it's just like maybe a little
yeah,
too wet on the walls.
yeah. And last I was doing that, it was summer going into fall. Like the whole room, like tubs were sweating, everything.
Yeah. Speaking of, your
Big
green
temperature
toke
swings.
kills a bag, dude. Your green toke is fucking. It has not given me a bad bag once that you sent me forever ago.
Yeah, I pulled a swab out. I gotta run that again. That's actually fruit of the gods, bluegrass mycology's
Okay.
thing, green
Yeah,
toke.
I just pulled them on from it, so from a swab.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I just checked out a plate a minute ago, little wild Aussie cube that looks. I want to snag it.
Hell yeah.
It's
I just put a whole bunch
I've
of more
never.
swabs to agar
Yeah,
too.
this will be the first time working with wild spore bonds. I got some pan ones going also.
Oh yeah, I just put
Are
young guy
any
to agar.
hopping on? Are those guys hopping on at all?
Yeah, I've
Chica,
just
you or only still?
just dropping Moon an invite now. Who else is coming up?
Oh, I don't
Everybody.
know.
MYC, you in?
I thought Matt Mike
Hey,
was.
how you doing, mate?
Can I be heard? Am I heard?
Yes, yes, you
Cool.
can.
Yep.
Yeah. Right on, guys. What's
How,
up?
how about yourself, Moon? How did you get started in all of this?
I wanted to trip when I was a kid. So
Yeah, let's say
it was
like
hard
what
to
30.
get mushrooms back then. So I bought some spores out of High Times magazine, and the rest is history.
That's
It's
wild.
gone from there.
High Times
Yes.
magazine.
17
Yeah,
years
What
old.
they used to
40
do
years
that.
old now.
is that? You've been growing since you're 17.
Yeah.
Wow,
23 years.
got in early.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's a trip to think about the way that we did it back then. we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. And anybody knew what they were doing, they weren't telling you. I mean, there were people, dude, who would just like fill a horse trailer full of shit and spray spores in it, you know? Whatever did grow was successful. It was
Well, see that the way that you cross is. I was reading something the other day, and the way that you do your crossing is, I want to say frowned upon, but that's probably the wrong word to use. It's
the
it's
reason why
different.
people frown, people frown on it because it's not the conventional, super technical, difficult way to do things that people are used to thinking the way that it has to be done that way. And really, I mean, all you have to do is put your isolation in some water and let nature do its thing. So yeah, they hate that because people have dedicated their whole lives to figuring out how to do this, and it's like, I'm sorry, man, it's not that complicated.
Maybe not for you.
Say that again, brother.
I said maybe not for you. It's not that complicated.
Well, I mean, it's complicated regardless of, you know. There's 3 people in here who are in the class, I think, that I see right now. They've all been in my class. And it's not easy at first, you know, just learning how to operate a flow hood and, you know, developing an eye and knowing what it is you're looking for takes time, you know, but you don't need a big fancy lab, and you don't need a microscope. You don't need anything other than your hands and some patience, you know, in a flow hood. Petri dish.
Yeah, so you're the first person I've ever heard say that you don't need a microscope to cross and stuff like that. Whereas a lot of people will make it sound more difficult than you do to do.
Yeah, and this is where developing an eye comes in, like being able to tell if, okay, is there anastomosis occurring just by the way they're behaving? You know, behavioral characteristics are the way you identify without a microscope. And they're actually, in my opinion, and I think that it should be a fact, it's a better way to verify than a microscope. Because a microscope can lie. You can have all sorts of shit hidden in there. You take a little tiny sample from what's supposedly a monokaryon, you put it on a slide, and just because you don't see any clamps, you still got the whole plate that you took the sample from where there could be clamps in, and you're not going to be able to see every clamp inside of that one sample if there is one. It could look like a mon, it could behave like a mon for a long time, you know, you just never know. But the moment that you see that if it works, if you see if it's breeding, if it's doing its job, then you know that it's a mon. If it's not going to.
Well,
if I can add something else, after you, like Moon is saying, after you've been working mons for a while, you're able to see after you're working with these mons for a while, you'll be able to see, just like Moon saying, how they act on the plate.
I agree.
I personally enjoy using the microscope, but if there's no time, it is very time consuming.
I love microscopes.
Using it is the way to go.
I use one every day. And it's not, people think that I don't use a microscope. It's like, no, dude, microscopes are a very, very important, useful tool. Like, thank God we have them, you know, or else no one would have figured this shit out in the first place, probably. But
well, I'd imagine that's how you came. That's how you came to the way that you do it. Is you were on a microscope to begin with.
Yeah. So I was using a microscope for breeding when I was doing serial dilution. This is all before 2020, when I accidentally figured out how to use water. And even then, I'd still use a microscope. But yeah, definitely, I've used a microscope a lot. So
a lot of people think you only do bags. Okay.
Say again.
But a lot of people also think you only run bags. I've seen your tub, bro.
Yeah,
you run tubs as well.
Yeah, all the time.
Oh yeah.
If I get a new culture, I run everything in a tub first, just to see how it's going to behave, to see what I need to do, you know, to make it run in a bag. Because anything that's running good in a bag is going to run in a tub, regardless. I like to watch and see how it behaves. You know, I'll do a side by side. I'll put it in a bag and I'll put it in a tub. And that's if I can't get a plin to grow, of course. But
if you can't get what to grow, sorry,
a plin. If I can't get a plin to grow on a plate, I'm not just going to throw it in a bag and think that it's going to do everything that I want it to do.
Right.
It might. There's some strains that won't plin at all. You know, grow a plate pin, and they do great in bags. But strains that don't do good or that won't plin generally don't do good in a bag. So I'll always do a tub and a bag at first if I can't get one and just see what's going on. You know.
One thing I noticed with the plans, if you get a plan after what, say 3 weeks, 4 weeks or something, clone that pin, let it grow. Don't quite use that culture yet. You can, no problem, but I'd wait for another plin to pop and then go from there.
That's it. That's my rule too. 2 plins, 2 consecutive plins. A lot of times you don't even get a plin. You can just barely get what you think might be a hyphal knot. And I clone that, and then usually, you know, if I'm correct, if that's a hyphal knot, then you're gonna start to get your plins more easily. But only until I can transfer an actual mushroom, and then usually is what will happen once you have your if you pick the right mushroom and everything's going good and your agar recipe's correct and you're ready to throw that to grain, is what's going to happen is you're going to grow a big mushroom out of that mushroom, and it will start to grow pins all over before it's even fully colonized. That's what you want. You want that thing anxious to fruit. So, and what you're doing is you're stressing it out, really. I don't really talk about this too much, but your mycelium, actually, what I theorize is that your mycelium thinks that it's under a log or something, right? And that it can't escape. And so you're basically putting it into this state of, I need to use all my energy at once to lift this log off of me so that I can produce this fruit body and release spores and reproduce, and so that my species can survive. That's all that it's thinking.
Yeah, it's just trying to survive.
Yo. I actually wanted to ask you as well. Yo, thanks for having me on here. I actually wanted to ask as well about your agar recipes. And I know you use like a kombucha bottle, something like that.
I use a kombucha bottle, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask more on that and delve into your recipe. And I know you're a big advocate of using plate pins. I know you love those. I wanted to speak more about that as well, if possible.
Hang on one sec. I just put on my headphones and I can't hear you. Let me see something.
It's that accent.
One sec.
That's what I was thinking. What he wanted to say. He doesn't
Better let me use
understand.
headphones.
Yo, my bad. So I wanted to speak more on agar recipes.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you,
Yeah, I can hear you, yeah.
Yo, Platy, translate for me. So I wanted to speak on agar recipes.
Okay, talk.
And,
he wants to talk about your recipes.
And plate pins.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
He's got you. It's not your accent. I was just taking a piss, right? It's that Welsh side of you.
Okay, sorry guys. The audio went off right when you were talking about my agar recipe.
That's it. Yeah, that's what he was asking about, your agar recipes.
What about it specifically?
Sure. What about it specifically?
So what are you running? What's your baseline? Do you prefer low nutrients or high nutrients? What's your go-to? And I want to speak more on plate pins as well, and the disadvantages and benefits on that.
Okay. I'll touch on the last one, disadvantages and advantages. No disadvantages. You're going to get things faster. They're going to be stronger, healthier, faster clones. If you're cloning, why not? Why would I? People like to think that you choking on a little piece of ham. I'm good. You grow out your F1 or your F2 or your F3 when you're making a cross because you can pheno hunt. And honestly, I don't pheno hunt. I think that when you search for one characteristics and you're so focused on it and you're breeding it, and you're taking it down generations, you're going to compromise what it is you're looking for something else, whether that's immune system or size or speed. You know, there's all these things that make a mushroom good, in my opinion. You've got size, okay, so that's your yield. You've got your potency, you've got your speed, you've got your aesthetic, and then you've got your immune system. Those are 5. If you can have a mushroom that's 5 out of 5, that's awesome. That's one of those. We all know what those are, right? And they usually don't last like that forever because people continue to take them back to spore and pheno hunt or, you know, just overdo things. And so something gets compromised to try and make up for this thing that you want it to be. I just let it do its natural thing, and every time it gives me something completely unique to anything else. I don't know why or how it works like that, but I don't pheno hunt. If I see something that I really like, it's got to be a mutation for me to clone it or to want to clone it.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Is what desirable traits makes you want to clone or replicate something?
Generally, I think if I was cloning something for the way it looks, I'm trying to go back to spore to stabilize it, right? Because I like that a lot. So the end goal in my mind is I'm going to try and make this a new strain. Example, I just barely cloned that 505 gram steel water cut. That's just to have that cut. It's not meant to go back to spore and try anything else with it. It's just the size that I want, but I want it to be within all the other still water cuts that are in the F0. It's not anything that I'm chasing. It's just size for the strain that I want to keep, which is still water. As far as my agar recipe goes, I like to keep it at medium high all the time, right? Medium, I guess is what you say. I like to keep it at medium all the time. The reason why is because that way I don't have to deal with it getting too hungry and me having to up my nutrients and then do a couple transfers before it figures out what's going on, or vice versa with it too full, right? It's basically happy and growing aggressively all the time. It's happy to just be there and not be stressed out when you have a medium nutrient recipe.
Yeah, heard.
The way I keep it excited is I'll switch up one of the complex nutrients. So let's say I have my base nutrients, right? I use LME. Some people use sorghum. Some people use brown rice. Some people use whatever. I use light malt extract. That's the majority of what's in my recipe. So I keep it at just above 6 grams in 500 milliliters of water. Most people will run like 15 grams or a lot, you know, and that's fine. And you can definitely get really good rhizomorphic growth like that, but there's a way you have to approach it. And that is, before you're going to get that growth that you want on that high nutrient, you've got to have it hungry on a low nutrient. I don't like to do all that. That's too much. And I've also got peptone and yeast in my recipe. So instead of going a gram on both of those, I'll go just under half a gram. Some people, usually people do yeast or peptone. Not very many people do both. I split it in half, and I let them get the best of both worlds right there. And I don't overdo it.
I do
and
the
then
same.
You've got, yeah. You'll get great results doing that.
I was also about to mention as well, there seems to be a little bit of a stigma on peptone, using peptone.
I'm glad you said it. I was just about to say the same thing.
Yeah, maybe we can delve into that as well.
I'm curious.
What's the stigma?
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
I think it's more there's yeah, go on. Sorry.
I've personally taken it out of my recipe, mainly because all my pans really didn't like it. I was only doing 0.3. The mycelium goes super aerial and it eats so fast. So I've removed it, but I'm curious what the stigma is.
So when I mentioned stigma, obviously not to call anyone out, but there was a member within our server who basically they thought peptone was useless basically, and it was a pointless additive, and that added nothing basically.
You should look at the
I've never
research
run
done
it
on that.
myself, so
Yeah. Peptones is one of the things that will benefit your mycelium after it's not eating it.
Yes.
How?
I don't know the specific pathways, but for the mushrooms and the mycelium to transfer the alkaloids into the mushroom, there's 4 specific ways. And peptone has an ingredient in it that has the possibility to increase alkaloid content. That's how I understand it.
Yeah, see, I kind of understood it that it was more on a recovery side. It helps on the recovery.
Peptone is a starch. It's a starch that's made from potatoes, I'm pretty sure. And I mean, you definitely want to continue to supplement with a lot of different things, because on the plate, you want to train your mycelium to understand how to digest a number of different things. So I think it's beneficial to add.
Peptone probably could come from potatoes, but generally it comes from soybeans, and I believe it comes from protein. And so but it's bacteriological. So it's like, so you can make it from meat as well, or from cows. That's what the bovine peptone is. It's really expensive, and they use that in debacterialization. Peptone, from what I understand, I've never delved deep into it, but there's a lot of studies on it. It basically just allows the your hyphae to just be stronger. That's basically what it is. It helps it be more aggressive and work faster.
Yeah, I just looked up the other thing. So what I was alluding to is the tryptone.
Oh, yeah.
It contains high levels of tryptophan, which is one of the pathways.
Yep. 2 psilocybin and psilocin.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Which there's a lot of debate as to whether or not we can increase potency by putting certain things inside of the substrates, and a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, that's
for a long time.
Testing.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate on that, whether or not it's doing something. But Parametric had some shit that he was posting not that long ago with a lot of really good data that was interesting.
Yeah, that's who I was trying to remember. All the stuff we talked about. He's super smart. I can't wait.
I would like to see I would like to see a potency test of the same pheno, say 2 cuban incense side by side. Maybe one ran in plain core, then one ran in manure, and then I would like to see the testings on both of them to see if there's any differences.
There's been lots of those done, and it's all inconclusive.
Yeah, I would like to read something a bit more conclusive.
The thing is that it's in order for you to say that something's doing something, it's got to be consistent and it's got to be doing something for sure, right?
The thing is, each tub's variable anyway, isn't it? Each fruit out of each tub is variable. So to have it so that this one is definitely stronger and this one isn't is almost impossible.
Yeah.
Well, that's the issue with side by sides.
Yeah, definitely.
So many variables.
If there is something that's making a difference, it's not enough to even tell the difference, anyways, in my opinion.
Yeah.
As long as you've got good substrate. I posted on my Discord the other day something about manure being used for cubensis still, or even for anything really. And like, why is it that people think it's so good, right? Well, I broke everything down. Well, what is manure? Manure is composted grass, which is more composted and has more nutrients leached out of it than your normal composted grass that would just sit in a pile, something from your lawnmower or something. And it's also sat there in the sun for 2 or 3 years being pulverized by UV rays. What is it by the time it's done where you're able to use manure and you pick it up and you smell it and it crumbles? It smells like dirt, and it is dirt. That's all it is. It's grass that was composted into dirt, and it sat there for a really long time. I've used just composted grass clippings very successfully, and I use far less of them. Worm castings, I started doing that 2024. End of 2024 is when I started incorporating that in my substrate, especially the one that I was selling on spore swaps with manure and worm castings mix. And then when I switched to all worm castings, I seem to be doing even better. So also another thing I'd like to point out is that livestock, a lot of their nutrients are coming from the seeds that are in the grass, and seeds from grass seed is what? That is grain. So we're giving our mycelium grain. That's what it wants from the manure, is that those proteins, those sugars, and those fats that are in grain. What more would you need than a pure grain that hasn't been chewed up by a cow that's sterile and allows it to actually survive on it? That's why we're able to grow such massive amounts of mushrooms. It's not because we're putting manure inside of our substrates, because we have grain. And that's my take on it. I've never been able to see a difference, even with pens.
Well, I've got a question for MyCSeE, obviously, just because I've asked the rest of you. How did you get involved in all of this? How did you get started?
Same as Moon, you know, an interest in taking psychedelics. I've been growing since 2014. But, you know, I was on methods, PF tech and using spore syringes and knocking jars up and pressure cooking jars full of, rice grain and vermiculite until I basically found Moon because I was looking for other genetics. And at that point, it was kind of like getting shot out of a cannon, basically. Getting a flow hood, getting agar, dialing that in, completely abandoning a lot of other formats. And for the most part, you know, what we do is we knock grain with agar at this point. Don't even use LC or spore or anything like that unless we want to, you know, hit save, go back to spore if we're changing filial generations because we want to imprint. But yeah, it's been a trip since I got up with him. And that's it. You know, like I obviously, you guys see that I'm trying to add color and things like that while we're on the discussion of agar recipes and things. You know, I'm getting that color out of liquid food coloring gel and mica powder and a combination of the two, mixing them together, trying to have my own style with that. But, you know, plates are what I'm kind of dialed in on. And
yeah, you guys all have
grower.
killer plates.
I'm sorry?
Said you guys, your plates are all killer, every one of them.
Yeah. I mean, that starts with good genetics, obviously, and good training, you know, consistency with your recipe so that your mycelium starts to understand how to digest it. And then, you know, at first you'll see a lot of situations where it doesn't like the color, it doesn't like the recipe. And you can change the dynamic of that by continuing to introduce it to it by doing transfers, and eventually you'll find that no matter what recipe you're on, high, low, you know, and if you're using mycelium that hasn't been exposed to the way you cook yet, you have to ask it to perform on it. So it's not necessarily a I want to say I mean, you do have to get somewhere in the ballpark with your recipe, right? But it doesn't have to be exact all the time. It's got to be sterile, of course. You have to apply it under, you know, sterile conditions. It's got to be cooked properly. It's got the consistency of the liquid has to be good. It's got to be poured hot, you know. But once you train it, it'll grow on anything. It'll start to understand what, you know, it wants to eat, right? So don't be too concerned about, you know, 5 grams or 6 grams of LME. You know, it will start to understand and thrive on what you're giving it. You just have to do a couple of transfers of it in order to do it. If you're 5-6 transfers in from a master plate or from the donor plate, and you still can't teach it to understand how to digest your recipe, then maybe start to kind of fiddle around with your ratios and things like that. And obviously you want to do this before you start introducing color and things like that. We've found that green and reds pigments are kind of almost toxic in a way to them. So try to stay away from that. The blue and the purple and
saw
things
you
like
mention that the other day. Yeah, that the green, you always find the green, it doesn't like it. I found the opposite on that.
Really? I mean, it really ultimately depends on, like I said, you train it to digest that, and it's going to perform on it. And start out light, only add a little bit of pigment to it, to the point where it's almost translucent. And then you can continue to train that specific genetic to digest a plate that you can't even see through anymore. Which is like, you'll see some of the stuff that I've got out that looks like all, the galaxy or whatever, all swirly and a lot of glitter in there and whatnot. But, what we're just doing that for show. It doesn't have to be in there, obviously, to get good high quality rhizomorphic growth. To
be honest, you saying that, I've never even took that into consideration, that being able to see through the plate would make a difference.
Yeah, when it's translucent, is obviously a lot less pigment in it. You only put like maybe 1 or 2 drops of liquid food coloring gel, and we're not talking about stuff off the shelf like that McCormick or whatever. We're talking about high quality chef grade stuff that they use to make fondant for icing for cakes and things like that. And the less preservatives they have in them, the better it's going to perform, because that stuff, it's got a shelf life on it, and it's supposed to retard growth of bacteria and funguses and other stuff to maintain its shelf life. So you want to use a good organic source of that stuff if you're trying to play around with that.
Also, I'll add that there's a million different things that make the color green, and a lot of these companies use different chemicals.
Yeah, so what was the last bit of that?
So what company are you using? What brand are you using? That's what I want to know. But another thing about green, I've noticed some colors after they've been sterilized, they seem to have turned green. There's some sort of a reaction that happens when it gets hot.
Oh, really? I haven't had that.
Me and Platy have ran a few green plates, green food coloring plates ourselves. And,
I quite like green, yeah.
So do I. My last plates I ran that was green, I put gold mica powder in there, and I thought they looked awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah. What brand are you using?
Let me find it. I'll tell you.
Yeah, brand wise, I'm actually not sure. I just bought a multi-pack of Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I've used mica powders from Temu before. I had a bash of V fluorescent powders as well. I was told that they probably contained lead, and obviously I don't want to be feeding my mycology.
Oh, that's the green that I've been using. Is that Dr. Otaka or something?
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll buy a whole box of that just for.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you think of it. I mean,
there's a lot of colors that.
Yeah, Dr. Whitford, that's how you say that.
Right now. I got red and green.
That's the gel stuff. I also use that. I got a bunch of it here.
Yeah, it's more of a gel than it's for baking, or it's for icing or baking or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find the actual food color inside of it it never PCs properly if you get the liquid version of it.
You need gel. So I have a YouTube video that I made. It's called The Art of Agar. It's like almost 2 hours long, I think, talking about like these specific types of things. I'm going to touch on the fluorescent. I mentioned inside of that in that tutorial that I bought this fluorescent mica powder one time, and I did a bunch of different colors. Literally, I poured like 200 plates that day and did like 200 transfers that day. It was morning to night, transfers, making plates. Not one of those transfers survived other than Enigma. It killed everything, regardless of the color. So if you guys know a fluorescent brand that does well, I'd love to have it.
Yeah, I'd be up for that as well. Because from what my understanding is that they contain lead. So
yeah, that's probably why they all died.
Killed off your mycelium.
Mm-hmm.
You ran UV ones, didn't you, Shroom?
Yeah, same here. They just all died. The mycelium just wouldn't perform on it.
Oh, really?
And then it was remember in Sarkismo, he suggested then that they all probably contain lead. I never got the strips and tested them, but it's still here, and I could do that.
They shouldn't be putting that shit in fucking color.
No, I agree. You got to be careful with your mica powders as well, where you're getting them from.
Yeah, I mean,
they put lead in that as well.
Shit.
Yeah, or they
Even
just
some
like
of the candy.
load of weird like additives and stuff you don't want your mycelium feeding on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was the mica powder that killed mine. I bought the fluorescent mica powder.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like, who knows what's in the, who knows what additives is all added in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone put in the chat, what was that? Squid ink. You know, you go.
Squid ink.
I'd love to get some squid ink.
Have you heard of people using that?
I want to do that.
Did you say you want to do that?
Have you heard of people using
squid ink for fun?
Beetroot?
Awesome, actually, have
you heard of people using like beetroot for natural colors for the red?
Yep.
Beetroot.
Yeah, beetroot.
Oh, that's smart. That's really fun.
Yeah.
Your mic's breaking up.
Just kidding.
There's a site actually out there that sells I think it's like sheep's blood agar or fucking goat's blood agar.
Well, what about dog food agar? Has anyone run that?
Yeah.
That's the first I've heard of that one.
No, I've seen that as well, but I haven't.
No,
I think dog food spawn, just doing spawn alone. That's back in the day shit. People would buy dog food and inoculate dog food. It's disgusting.
No way.
Yeah, man.
Dog food.
How do you inoculate dog food?
Straight in the tin.
Just they put it in a bag or a jar, and you inoculate that big mushy shit pile of dog food.
Oh, okay. So not dry food, like wet.
No, it was dry. You'd have to hydrate it. I never did it.
Okay.
We had someone in the server do it. We had someone in the server do piss agar.
Yeah, that was my recommendation as well.
It worked. Yeah, I know it was.
I bet it does great.
It did take off.
Yeah. I hear that people drink their pee nowadays. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw some Instagram video where someone was. There's this couple saying that they've been doing it for the last 2 years. They looked fucking great.
It was
they look great.
It was a more of like you can do it rather than you should. It was just it was more. I was proving a point. I was, but yeah.
He's muted himself now. He's like, no. Yeah, well, I think he was more saying that there's enough nutrients in piss, and someone said, I don't think there is, and then it took off from there, saying that, well, they'll try it. And within like a couple of hours, they already had the plates board.
Yeah, that's nice.
Crazy.
When you heat it up, I'd imagine that the ammonia and urea is going to evaporate, so not going to be anything really toxic in it, other than the small amount of nutrients that are left over, Probably got some electrolytes in there.
So what?
Especially after you dose, because after you piss it out, like 70% of the active alkaloids are still present in your piss.
But well, that might make a big difference.
Take a lot of vitamin B pills also. And
yeah, now we need someone to make PP plates 2 hours after taking a big dose.
Don't make me do it.
No coloring needed.
Don't make me do it.
No coloring needed.
I'll fucking do it, man. Don't tell me I won't.
Yeah,
I won't even tell you guys.
Plates, man.
He's already in the process of making them.
I like yellow plates.
I'm jumping on DoorDash right now, and I'm getting my monster coffee sent to me. Good, nice enough.
He's gonna have them by the end of the day.
That's what's missing. I just barely. Yeah. Let's see. Where's DoorDash at? Anyways, I really am ordering that shit right now. Not for that, but I just woke up. I woke up at 6 o'clock. I was so exhausted. I was on an airplane from Thursday morning all the way until last night. Fucking crazy.
Yeah,
I
fuck
hate
that.
flying. Yeah, didn't really sleep the whole time. I mean, how do you? It was on 4 different flights. They had me switch.
I hate layovers.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it was. They made a mistake. They put me on the wrong flight.
Oh fuck.
And then
Yeah,
I was supposed to go to Boston, and then they took me to New York.
You were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, what are you? They're like, oh, you weren't supposed to come here. Dude, they put me on the wrong flight. It's because I could explain it. I could break it down for you what happened, but it's their fucking fault. So they need to compensate me. They said they're going to compensate me, so we'll see. They should. It's like $1,000 for a round trip flight. Ridiculous how much flying is. Like, goddamn. Let's see.
Let's see. Has anyone got any questions they want to ask from the audience?
Someone's asking about long-term storage. My take on long-term storage is, the Castellani method works. The problem with that is that everything gets contaminated when you store it in water for that long inside of centrifuge tubes. Unless you were to have everything 100% guaranteed sterile, and then you put it in a sterile vacuum seal, and then you put it in the fridge, or you don't have to put it in the fridge, but everything has to be vacuumed and sealed tight if you want long term, especially if you're using water. What I like to do personally, I go super, super low nutrient, like 2 grams of LME and 500 milliliters of agar, and I'll put those into centrifuge tubes. And they last a really long time. That way, I haven't seen them go bad. Or just plates. Yeah, plates. I've had plates last 3-4 years without even meaning to.
I still have plates from a year and a half ago when I first started.
Fridge or room temp?
In the fridge. So if you're in water, if it's actually in stasis, your mycelium. So what stasis means is
like
it doesn't have enough nutrients. Yeah. So it thinks that there's no nutrients, and so it goes to sleep. When you have too many nutrients, when you're trying to get good growth on it, that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to get good growth, and it fully colonizes. Is what happens is it will eat its own shit and piss, and then digest that again, and eat it again, and keep continually poisoning itself by eating its own shit. That was shit, right? There was shit, and then it dies. When you have a super low nutrient, but just enough to allow it to grow, but not enough for it to become toxic. That's how I theorize it. Is you just put a little bit on there, and it will go into stasis.
Just to clarify, thanks for letting me come on, you guys. Just to clarify, so you're adding the agar into your distilled water slants and leaving it like that?
No, I just do pretty much not quite a semi-solid agar, so I'll do less agar too. It's more water. It's just a super low nutrient on the thicker end of the semi-solid, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Thank you for clarifying that.
So are you putting nutrients in your long-term storage, man?
Very small amount. Very small amount.
Because I've done a couple, or I've got a few that I've done last year, which was just distilled water.
Yeah, that works fine too.
Yeah,
my problem with distilled water is it gets contaminated over time.
I'm curious on your reasoning on that.
Say that again.
I said I'm also curious on your reasoning on that. Why not straight to distilled water and just straight to dormancy?
Because the water gets contaminated with bacteria after a few months. It doesn't always, but it's more likely to. Because it's liquid, and you've got a lot of evaporation going through the threads. And if anybody's stored anything for long term in water, you pretty much have to clean it up when you do your first transfer, when you're bringing it back to life. I just prefer to avoid that as much as possible.
But it is possible to get that clean transfer back in. You're not going to revive bacteria, say.
Yeah, it is possible. That's what I said. If you're going to do that, I'd recommend vacuum sealing it.
Interesting. Yeah, well, I'm just getting into long-term storage right now, so that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah. If you just have your box of centrifuges in your fridge and they're sitting in there, it just, man, to me, that's a mess. And it's going to be a mess. When you go to do transfers, it's going to be a lot of bacteria in there.
Okay,
and that's when your culture is uncomfortable because it's.
What was that, Hyphal?
So I do just distilled water, sterilize 30 minutes, whatever, 5 milliliters in the boxes. I've done in the fridge, on the shelf. I've noticed it doesn't matter. I'm 3 for 3 of a year and a half old stuff from water. One thing I do is I wrap the what's it called? The graphing tape. Whatever that tape is we use for plates. I wrap around the lids to make sure there's no leakage of air, because like Moon said, it can't get through the threads.
I was wrapping grafting tape around the seals, but now I'm heat shrinking. I'm putting a wrapper on the.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anything you can do to seal it, then go ahead. I don't see a problem with it. I think that's great.
Put more than one square in there, or wedge, whatever you want to call it. Have like 5 or 6, 8.
I put multiple wedges. I put as many in there as I can fit. I am so depending on the head space, I try to get as minimal head space as possible. I'll just keep throwing wedges in there.
Yeah.
I like to use larger slants for storage too, not the little tiny ones.
What size are you talking?
The 50 mil ones I've been using.
I use the 15 mil. Is what I use.
Yeah, I also like the 15s compared to the 50s. I'm thinking about getting 5s.
Yeah, I mean, most people are using like the 1 milliliter, even just a little tiny tubes. Like, man, that's to me. I'm gonna fuck that up. It's too small.
With LC, I like the 3 mil
one.
Say it again.
I said with the LC, I like the 3 mil.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, they're cool. Because it's enough for someone to bulk back out or to send to a grain bag or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
It's plenty, you know.
All you need is a little tiny microfiber of it, really, to survive.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 mils is more than enough if your LC's thick.
On slants, I haven't prepared any slants yet, but should we be really using distilled water for that? Because isn't that like alkaline?
Yeah, but it's not going to eat it. It goes into stasis. You can use distilled or you can use regular water. I never use distilled. A lot of people do. I don't use distilled in my grow at all, but it doesn't matter because it's not drinking it. It's not, if your mycelium was chugging it because it's eating and it needs to drink water, that could potentially be a problem. But at the same time, if your distilled water, if it has nutrients in it, then you're adding the electrolytes and stuff that it needs.
I was actually going to ask you that, Moon. What form of water do you use for your agar and LC recipes? I use boiled kettle water.
Yeah, I just use water. If I have access to it for my grows, I use well water, alkaline water. And the reason why is because I like to keep that pH up. And you'll really notice a lot of times if people are having contamination issues, if they're using distilled water, switch it up, man, go more alkaline, and it solves the problem.
Especially bacterial problems on plates.
Yeah, and just problems at all. I mean, mold likes it very acidic. Bacteria likes it acidic. Mycelium likes it acidic as well. But if you've already got if it's already there growing and doing its thing, it's going to make it a lot less likely that mold's going to be able to or even want to attack it. And it's what happens when your substrate gets old. The reason why mold comes in is because every time you flush, it becomes more acidic from the byproduct that your mycelium's releasing. It's eating and shitting itself out. The more it does that, the more acidic it becomes. Eventually, the mold's like, "Oh yeah, I can come here and then it does." So, keeping it at a higher pH for a longer period of time is going to give you more mushrooms for a longer period of time.
Someone's put in there, can we talk more on Mons? What was it that Slick Purple. What was it that you was after or wanting people to talk about? Oh, methods for isolation. Yep. So, yeah, I'm interested in that. Do you guys all use the same method, or have you all got your own?
I don't.
Your own
I don't think
techniques.
so.
We do.
I do like swab deletion. I just swab like a few plates with the same swab 5 times, and then watch for first signs of growth most of the time, and transfer like the tiniest piece.
Yeah, so I do that as well, just on one plate, and you can do the grab and drag. That's another way. I've done both.
Yeah.
First sign of growth, take it. I let that grow out over a few days, and then I'll take a tiny piece to put under the scope, and I like to not take from the leading edge. I don't know if there's still debate over that or not, but I like to take more on the inside where it's established mycelium, if that makes sense. Scope
yeah, that way you know
if
it was a mod to begin with.
Yeah. If it's clear of clamps, I transfer that to another plate, let it grow out for a few days, and then I'll scope it. But if it looks like a mon, I won't bother scoping it a second time. It's after a while you'll know what mon growth looks like.
So you feel like you're confident enough to identify without scope?
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro.
Love that. Short answer, yeah.
Well, that's all I want to hear.
But that first,
don't let the gatekeepers listen to say that.
The first
when
initial one, I like to scope. I scope it and then transfer. And if it's looking good and it was clamp free on the scope, I don't bother a second verification anymore.
Okay.
But typically 90% of the time I'll do a verification at least once.
Okay, word.
Just because I like to pull it out. Like my amp scope is upstairs on the kitchen counter on our bar tabletop, and I set up a laptop and go at it.
Mm-hmm.
Nerd out for a bit. Actually, a couple hours. It's fun.
How about Moon and MyCSeE? How do you guys hunt for mons?
So this is a good. I collect them off of every spore swab if I can, the same way these guys do it. But to me, that's I'm going to get better results if I can take a monocaryon that's already clamped to another monocaryon that's produced an isolate that is a champion racehorse. That's how I like to look at it. I'm breeding champion racehorses to champion racehorses. How do you know it's a champion racehorse? Well, let's say, for example, we've got Mad ACS's Louis Vuitton. Everybody knows who that thing is, right? Everybody wants it. Probably packed up orders of it today and shipped it somewhere in the world. If I wanted to breed that, and if I wanted to use spores, I would have to grow it out, swab it, and collect spores. The problem with that is that spore that I've isolated isn't the one that's been tried and tested. It's not going to be the same as Matt's that's been worked and cloned, and he has those recessive traits stable within that clone that made everybody like it in the first place. So what I do is I use a low nutrient liquid culture that basically allows for growth to occur, but there's not enough nutrients in the broth for it to remain dikaryotic. What does that mean? So it's gonna that doesn't mean I'm growing monokaryons. That means that all the new growth, once it reaches that point of where's all the magnesium and phosphorus at, because once that's gone, it's gonna start turning monokaryotic. But it doesn't turn monokaryotic; it coattails, so it splits. Now it's no longer growing a clamped dikaryon. It's going 2 separate monokaryotic membranes in the water. Here's what I do from there is I'll draw it up and I'll streak it on a plate with a needle the same way that these guys are doing it with tweezers and grabbing a piece of the cotton and streaking it across the plate. I do that with just a very small amount of the liquid culture, and then same thing, you're going to see the satellite colonies pop up and grab those before they can touch. The chances are they're going to be monokaryotic, but the thing is you've attained symmetrical recovery now. So instead of paying thousands of dollars to have it done, you get that champion racehorse, you just, put it in water and let it do its thing. In a nutshell, there's a lot to it, but that's all you have to do.
I think once you start seeing what they look like, and you get a feel for it, obviously. But like if you've ever put your plates in an environment where the temperature fluctuates a lot, you'll get these like kind of cylindrical waves coming out from the transfer piece from the middle of the plate, kind of almost like a speaker, almost
like a halo ring sort of thing.
Exactly. So like if you put dikaryotic mycelium in an environment where the temperature fluctuates a lot, you'll see these waves come through. But if you keep your temperature stable and it's a monokaryon, you'll actually see those rings and waves come out. And then in between those portions, the mycelium almost kind of looks flat against the surface of the agar.
Very good to know.
And it's almost always, it's never rhizomorphic for me. And I'm not perfect at it. I mean, I'm still learning. But you can definitely tell the difference between dikaryotic and monokaryotic mycelium.
Especially if you understand the isolation that you're pulling your moss from, the ones that you are remonokaryotizing. Let's say we have cuttlefish, right? A lot of you probably know what cuttlefish is. It's the most insane mycelium you'll ever see in your life. It's literally like black widow spider webs attacking the plastic, trying to escape. All of a sudden, if you remonokaryotize that and you have them on, and it's no longer doing what cuttlefish has done every transfer for the last, going on 6-7 years, you probably got them on. You got to be able to use common sense too. Mainstream science doesn't use common sense. They only go off of what you can prove with numbers, and it's just not the way the real world works. There's a lot of people in the community who've been around a long time. They'll say you can't tell by looking at it, and you're right. You can't tell by looking at it. Just like you can't be 100% sure by using a microscope. You can't tell by looking at it, but you can get a very, very accurate assumption with your eyeballs.
Like the analogy, like that analogy, you have a broken arm, like your bone is sticking out of the arm. Doctors still want to verify that with an X-ray.
Because
even though you can see a bone sticking out of your arm, you know it's broken.
Yeah. Science, man, it's stupid. But it's it's what happens when things are regulated, and it's just the way that it is. Yeah. Because it's logical, right? In that sense, it's logical, but at the same time, it's not. So whatever. We're not in a system. We're not even, what the shit we're doing is not even legal, even in certain places technically. So we'll do what we want.
I think home cultivators are pushing boundaries a lot more fast than your legit scientists, biologists, because their funding doesn't allow what we do.
Exactly, especially with philosophy. There's no research done on this where anybody can say anything's concrete. Like, okay, is this doing anything in by adding this to the substrate? There's things like that that can be figured out. We don't have the money or the equipment to do that, and they don't have the green light to do it legally. So,
would you think it's because they're stuck in their ways? That's more it's a bit like
I think that they'd like to know. I think that it's just the legalities of what you can do in a university type laboratory setting. Basically, they want to know what it is that it's doing inside the brain right now. They're not worried about cultivating.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the way that they are cultivating is very limited because they've only been allowed to do certain things for so many years, and so they're clear back in the prehistoric ages when it comes to cultivating. We're miles ahead of them. But
you've got the free reign to be able to experiment.
Exactly, they can't do that. And who knows, in the future, maybe they will be able to. I know that big pharma and stuff with what they're allowed to do, they're not worried about growing more potent mushrooms. They're worried about creating other things, creating psilocybin in other ways, which turns out just isn't working. because there's more
they're
going
just
on inside
looking
the
at
mushroom.
coining it. That's all they're looking at doing.
Yeah, and they won't be able to. Mushrooms don't work like that. What they found is that this lab grade stuff that they're producing doesn't provide the same effects as what the mushrooms are producing.
No, yeah, I was reading a study the other day, basically saying exactly the same thing.
Yep. There's hundreds of alkaloids and alkaloids within alkaloids, and there's so many different things going on inside the chemistry of a mushroom that for us to say that psilocybin's the reason why this is happening is absurd. We know that it's definitely doing something. You can take pure psilocybin and have an effect, but you're not getting that same effect. You're not getting that same neurogenesis that you would with everything else added in, or whatever else is that's in there that we don't even know about yet. Until we get the green light and the universities are able to do these studies, and even at that point, they're going to have money to fund it. So,
but the entourage effect is widely debated, isn't it?
Yep. And to me, mushrooms, man, it's like more obvious than weed. Like you smoke 2 different strains of weed, you can definitely tell a difference. Mushrooms even more so, and that's a lot more going on in a mushroom. The thing is, you're not going to be able to just like take mushrooms every day and get a different effect, unless you're microdosing, which I have my strains I prefer,
I think even with microdosing, you can tell the difference in what you like. I like a B+ or something like that for a microdose, whereas I find other ones, they just have different effects.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of like less alkaloids and more just psilocybin focus. It's definitely more energy, I think, when you get to these heavier. But I will say, the strongest mushroom that I have is called the Ocean. It's Jack Frost and Shakti Cross, and that thing has got all sort like it. I believe that by the coloration of the fruit body when you dehydrate it, because you'll get all sorts of colors from different things. Some of them you've never seen before, on a mushroom, and then you dry them and you got all these crazy colors. I believe that that's just different alkaloids that we haven't necessarily seen before, drying and oxidizing and different things. But man, that thing turns, it turns into a rainbow right after you dry it. And that thing gives you so much energy. Literally, when you microdose it. It's like taking an Adderall. It's awesome.
I was actually going to ask that. What are your desired strains? What do you look for in a mushroom, consumption-wise?
I think, like I said, man, I let them do its own thing. I let it turn into what it's going to turn into, just through the cleaning. And if I don't like what it's doing, somebody else is going to like it, But personally, I prefer.
Could you give
us
like a top highlights? You know what I mean? Fan favorites.
Yeah. So everybody likes Hellhound and Dick Dog. I don't really have anything that's average or below average in potency. I like my mushrooms to have a more euphoric, anti-anxiety feel almost, if that makes sense. Kind of like a Molly feel.
Clear visuals, no less body load.
Yes, I don't like a heavy body load. Mushrooms. There's a lot of shit going on in them. It's not like taking acid. You're going to become intoxicated. Essentially, you can get stumbly and like not be able to walk straight. Everything's blurry. You can't remember what you were thinking about 3 seconds before. And usually, for me, that's the come up. Once I'm peaking, I don't give a fuck what I was thinking. I'm just there. But there's some mushrooms, golden teachers. I don't like teachers. I've taken them several times, and I think they call them teachers for a reason. They're going to give you not what you want, but what you need. And it's like, I don't want what I don't want. I want to have a good time. I'm 40 years old now. I'm not trying to go that deep anymore. But
I hear you.
I believe that intention, and your personality is going to emerge in all aspects of your fruit. It's an extension of you. And if you guys have been cultivating, especially when you get into breeding, and you start to see, okay, that's a Hyphal mushroom, or that's a Moondaddy mushroom, or that's a Basidium equilibrium mushroom. Even the way that it looks aesthetically, you're going to see the artistry of the actual breeder. And that's that's part of the whole metaphysical, alchemical side of things. But yeah, I'd like to think that my shit's easygoing, you know, easygoing and crazy.
So what's your fan favorite? What do you like? What do you prefer?
What do I prefer? Fuck, dude. I like,
you know,
Dick Dog. Dick Dog
like,
all around is my favorite.
If you had to, you could only grow one Feno for the rest, what would it be?
Ooh.
I know that's.
I mean, I've got
young guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'd grow something different because I want more of them for everybody. But I'd have to say like Dick Dog or Black Magnolia.
Fair play, fair play.
Yeah, they're just really, really nice, potent, fucking super euphoric, fun mushrooms.
Yeah, for me, it would be either MyCSeE or probably Omni Wave.
I think machete's killer. I love machetes.
Machete
are tough, yeah.
Yeah, everyone I know as well, everyone that I've given them to or whatever, they've constantly that has got to be one where everyone comes back and says that's what I want.
Yeah,
you know what? It's not the most popular mushroom for cultivators for some reason. Though I did get a bag of mushrooms that ended up being machete that was shipped for me from somewhere, and I got the bag and it said machete. I was like, that's what's up. Because this is when I wasn't growing for a period last summer, so someone was growing them in California. Yeah, they're not the most popular, but I love them. I love growing those things. It's one that I forget about. The yields are insane.
Oh, the amount of time and effort I put into them as well, it just makes it so much more worth it. If that makes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. How long do your machete grows take? How long does it take to flush those?
Machete are one of my fastest fruiters.
Oh, they are. Are you growing them in a tub or a bag?
Tubs. But they perform just as bags. Tubs, but they perform just as well in bags.
Yeah, my machete, I've always had a few extra weeks added on when I put them in bags. But when I've seen other people grow them in tubs, they're getting fat.
Or in bags. Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of variables to that too. And that's just Shakti Ghost, right? Indian graveyard. You throw it in a tub, it's not going to produce that spiral flower mutation, and you're going to have mushrooms in 3 weeks to a month. You know, that's the difference between giving them air and not.
Yeah, I got that Indian graveyard on in a tub going right now. And the last time I ran of there, it produced the I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. It's the Hatula flowers.
So the spiral flower mutation.
Yeah, the Hatula.
So Hatula is a fin mutation.
Right.
The Indian graveyard is not a fin mutation because it's sporulating. If you look at it, the blues and the things, those are actually the gills reversed. It's the mutation. It's a weird thing.
Well, I was going to ask that because the last run of Indian graveyard, I believe it was yours as well, was producing like flipped out coral / fin mutations.
Yeah, so that's called a spiral flower mutation. It's different from a enigma-like mutation where it's not sporulating at all, where the basidium just doesn't form.
Yeah, it was all albino. Yeah.
Yeah. You can collect spores off of Indian graveyard.
I never swabbed it, but I got it on grain right now. Ben.
Hell yeah! Oh, dude, it's such a cool. I love all the strains that I've made. They're all very special and unique, you know. And Indian graveyard is one of it's a very humbling trip. And just to be a part of it and to watch it grow and to see how every single time you run it, it looks so different from the last. It never gives you the same thing, but at the same time, it always has that flower mutation. Yeah, I've never had a grow that looks similar to the one previous.
The 4HT is the same as well, same as Omni. I know it's always bus and coral alike. It always amazes you every time you grow it, you know.
Yeah. Omni Blue Wave. a lot of people think that that's gone. I've kept it alive and I've distributed it. A lot of people still have it, but no vendors. I've had vendors hitting me up asking for it. Even the dude who created it, that was Mr. Mycelium. So it's what he did to create Omni Blue Wave. That's my homie, right? So I was there with him when he created Omni Blue Wave. He crossed it to PE Uncut Classic. He crossed Omni, and it came out even more brainy than just Omni. So Omni is a Melmac fin mutation, right? But it's like back and forth from sporulating fruits to fin. It's just crazy. You never know what you're going to get. When he crossed it to PEU, he got a stable Enigma-like culture, right? That's Omni Blue Wave. And a lot of it has reverted by now. So that's the thing. When you have an Enigma culture, you're going to get revert. It's going to revert eventually. Your mushroom gets sick of being grown, and it says, all right, I want to reproduce. I'm going to produce spores. It decides, you know. But yeah, I had old slats of the Omni Blue Wave from the original, cut that was very stable and very brain-like. And that's the one that I've been releasing over the last 2 years.
The original Omni, that's a Omni cross PE.
So the original Omni is Melmac.
Oh, okay.
Omni Blue Wave is Omni, which is a Melmac mutation, crossed with PE Uncut.
Yeah. PEU, yeah.
Yeah.
But what's your?
Mine's the Omni Blue Wave.
Okay. I think I'm getting confused with the 4HDT because that's Omni cross.
Yeah, so 4HDT is Omni Blue Wave crossed with Steel Magnolia.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I'm with you now. I'm with you.
Yeah, 4-hour DMT trip. That thing is fucking nasty.
Oh, mate, I love it. I carry on grain right now.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, and so I did. So I had the symmetrically covered Steel Magnolia haploid, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is it's the parent to both Stillwater, 4HCT, and Dragonhawk. Those three I did all at the same time. Dragonhawk is a Gandalf fin mutation, crossed with the Steel Magnolia, so Hydra. And then 4HCT is the Omni Blue Wave fin mutation, crossed to Steel Magnolia. And then Stillwater is Tidal Wave 2 Enigma Neptune, crossed to Steel Magnolia. And you'll see the similarities in all of them. They all have the same. They're on the edge of being a straight up fin mutation. And they always start off the early growth and the pins are always fin mutations, and then they eventually change their mind at some point of the primordia where they decide to form caps, and they grow halfway non-mutated versus / mutated mushrooms. But at the same time, they're all very different.
So we've had a couple of other questions come through. So Wisecaps has asked, how many flushes do you guys go for when you're running them?
2 max.
Just same.
Space.
See, I like to think of it like my first 2 flushes are it's like a flush and a half, right? Like it's like you get the one and then everything else that follows, like all within the same week. And then I'll wait for another one after that. But you got to be careful harvesting if you want to get that to happen perfectly as well. So.
Yeah, I usually dunk 3 times, so 3 flushes, and then any something mutated or just something crazy that looks pops up. I'll try and isolate and clone it. For me, it's usually just 3 flushes.
Yeah, I mean, I've had shit that I just like. If I'm not doing a big grow, I'll just let it run.
Yeah, like I know a lot of us, we're not doing it for yields or anything like that. Yeah. I just like the weird looking stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of the times with a lot of these strains, you might not have the most potent mushrooms on the first and second flush, and the really potent stuff comes later.
Yeah, exactly. Like the 4th onwards, that's where the weird stuff starts. And or you can get some real fatties. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
hydrating it properly for sure.
4th or 5th flush onwards, I've hit the 100-gram club. Yeah, just stuff, you know, and I like that.
Yeah, dude, definitely. It's nice
It
to have a
also
big
depends on if you're growing out of a tub or a bag, because a bag is going to be spent with hydration is faster than a tub would. But I found like you really don't get the true phenotype expressions until about the third flush. I mean, it kind of needs to level out, and then you'll get a lot of the twisted kind of freaks and weirdos, really big specimens on the third flush in a tub,
Yeah.
especially on a 54 quart tub.
That's true. I just I won't
like
clone
to
from later
let
flushes personally, but how come nobody shows their face on this thing? Let me see.
There's no way. How did you
Was that
figure
funny?
that out?
I feel so disconnected when I can't see myself.
We're legal, so it's okay.
Yeah, you guys are all right.
I'm prepared just in case.
Oh, look, he's on it.
See, this is what we do normally when we meet up, is we all show our faces.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I need one of those BDG shirts.
Yeah, you do.
That's
Everybody
fire.
does. We're gonna have hockey jerseys with all the strains. So, like, if you want a Hellhound, I don't know what number it'll be, but it'll be a hockey jersey with like Hellhound on the back, and then BDG, and then those will be the dogs, right? And then all the cat strains will be panties, booty shorts.
Matt.
I like it. Can't be too
We
careful.
got next question up was what sub to grain ratio do you prefer?
Depends. This is a
It
very
depends on if
complicated
you want
conversation.
mutants or not.
1-to-1, 1-to-3, 1-to-4.
I usually don't
1 to
go
3.
under
weight.
1 to 3.
And
1 to 3 for weight. 2 to 1 for mutations and smaller grows. Quicker colonization speed. But if you're looking for weight overall, if you're growing for weight, definitely 1 to 3.
I do all
Yeah, I like the
pans
1 to
are
2 to 1 to
pretty
3.
much 1-to-1. Pans are 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Everything else is 1-to-3, pretty much.
And then that was followed by do you always soak and flush again, or do you heavy mist?
I soak.
Neither. I don't do either. If you're not set up, if your substrate's not set up properly and your grain's not hydrated right from the get, then all you're doing is introducing a vector for contamination at that point. So keep it as closed as often as possible and don't rehydrate. Prepare for that stuff ahead of time and take your environment into consideration. Here in Colorado, it's really dry. So, when we're prepping our grain here, we do like 85% water. So starts there.
Our elevation makes a big difference also. Like even PC times on grain is different.
Run it longer. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. More atmospheric pressure, the lower you go.
But I like to rehydrate, and you can, if you want to be accurate, and if your environment allows to rehydrate, weigh your fruits and then put that much amount of water back. And if you have any in there still that turns yellow, just dump it out the next day.
Yeah.
That's how I do it between flushes.
Wise asked a question as well about so when you guys are chasing specific characteristics of mushroom, do you clone it first and then swab and then just grow it out of plate and repeat until it's stable, or how do you guys go about that?
Clone and swab, and then grow it out again, swab again, and then you got a side by side to see which one kept.
Compare.
A lot of times you lose that, when you clone it, and a lot of times
revert.
you go back to spore.
If you don't imprint, you'll revert. If you're only cloning.
Yeah, the best way to stabilize it is to go back to spore. So I'll get a swab from the fruit, and then also clone it, and I'll get a swab from that clone grow if that characteristic carried over. Generally, that one's going to be the best one. If you can get the characteristic to carry over in a clone, that swab's going to be the one that hits.
So that was going to be one of my
honestly,
questions was when you guys are stabilizing, how many times do you return to sport?
Yeah, that's also a brilliant question.
You know, it's going to be a strain once you grow out the multispore and it has those characteristics. Then you can say it's stable.
Like this machete, for example, this will be the third time I'm taking it back to spore, and so far it's performing exactly how I want it.
Yeah.
Can I
go back to spore again? Do it again. And I don't go several generations in with my strain. So I have a technique that's where I incorporate the way that dogs are bred into the same way I breed mushrooms. And the reason why is because when you go back to spore with the same mushroom over and over again, you get, several generations down the road, you're going to start to notice that it's not performing the way that it used to. And that's because of homozygosity, where it's been inbred too much.
Right.
And that's something that people don't talk about. And that a lot of breeders are gung-ho on. Well, you got to make it stable. It's got to be an F10, or everybody has their own theories on what generation makes it a strain. And it's like, okay, you have no genetic variability in that mushroom. That's why you're getting the exact same thing over and over again. And it's useless at some point. You look at Melmac from 2018 to Melmac now, if it's one that's been taken back to spore several times, it's not performing the same way that it was in 2018. When Melmac used to be fast and big, it was like, it was a Smokey the Ghost type of a grow. And Smokey's brand new. Smokey's got all sorts of genetic variability because it's an early strain. But is what I'll do is I'll take whatever strain it is that I am stabilizing, I'll take it to 2 or 3 generations, right? And then I'm going to grow out and I'm going to find the characteristics that I liked about parent A. And I'm going to get spores from that, okay? And I'm going to find the characteristics that I liked about parent B in that F2 or F3 run. And I'm going to get spores from that. And, well, not spores. I'm actually taking, I don't get spores. I take that isolation and I remonokaryotize it to where I split it, right? So it doesn't go back to spore. I'm just separating the mons. And I'm going to breed that back to parent A so that I'm taking those traits that I liked about the parent in the first place, and I'm imprinting them in that mushroom now. So now I'm 75% parent A, 25% parent B. And then I'm going to take the one that I liked about parent B, and remonokaryotize that. Take it back and breed it to parent B. Now I've imprinted those genetics, right? But it's 75% parent B, 25% parent A. I'm going to take those 3 generations in, making sure that it's the same characteristics that I like in both the parents, and then remonokaryotize that, breed it back to itself, and you have a F0 that's stable now. But it's going to give you both the traits equally, and they're the traits that you wanted, those recessive traits. And this is the same way that dogs are bred. This is the safe way to inbreed your dogs. And that's why, that's what started the whole thing with, that's why Hellhound is Hellhound. Is because it was a dog breeding, mushroom breeding, incorporating experiment. Dick Dog was
your YouTube channel about putting like a great horse stallion racing horse, pairing it with another.
Yeah, but then before you know it, you have 20 generations of nothing but racehorses bred to racehorses, champion racehorses, and then you're guaranteed to just have racehorses.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where Dick Dog came from. Dick Dog was Hellhound bred back to its leucistic swamp ghost parent. And it had all the characteristics of leucistic swamp ghost. And it still maintained a lot of that steel magnolia, the size and the speed. And it was never meant to keep as a strain. It was just part of that breeding program. But I saw that plin that popped up on that original crossplate and all the colors. It was like a bag of Skittles. And I was like, oh man, I got to grow this out. You know what I mean? And hell, Dick Dog.
All right, and then someone else has got to jump. They've jumped back to the sterilisation. Oh, fuck's sake! Till I just had a joint. Fucking hell! Right, he's gone back to long-term storage, and he's asking, how long would you need to sterilise the distilled water to re-sterilise an open container? I don't know if I can get my head around that.
What is that? I don't understand that.
Yeah, no, I couldn't get my head around it. Let me read it again. Right. How long would you need to sterilize the distilled water to re-sterilize an open container?
Just boiling. Once it hits boiling, water sterile. Completely different physics than something solid.
As well. It's
you could probably get away with microwaving it until it boils.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I microwave my shit. That's what I do. Liquid cultures, everything. Agar.
Yeah. It nukes it, I suppose, doesn't it?
Well, nothing lives through the microwave.
If you want to be really sure, put it in a jar and PC at 30 minutes, 15 psi, just like everything else.
Yeah, even with agar, if I'm putting it in a pressure cooker, I've noticed that if you have peptone or yeast in it, you need to run it for 15 minutes. If you don't have anything bacteriological and just regular nutrients, let it hit 15 psi, pull the weight, and it's going to be sterile. Water is completely different than sterilizing something solid like a grain. And even my grain, I only go 1 hour tops. So that's just me.
You only PC your grain for an hour?
Yep. I know, right? Now we do the cross, man.
I know, I was just shocked. If I did an hour, there's no way.
That's corn, though, right? You're talking about corn.
15
yeah,
psi.
Corn is denser. The corn is the most dense. Yeah, 15 psi. Don't pull the weight. I mean, I've got 500 bags in here, 100% success. So
I wanted to speak on what are your guys' preferred grain? Substrate mix, wherever. What's your preferred grain?
Well, I take it Moons is corn if he's got 300 bags.
500. Yeah,
500.
Popcorn all day.
Sorry, 500.
Popcorn all day.
Yeah, I know a lot of people
like Milo, corn, and oats, whichever I feel like using.
Yeah, I also like a mix, a blend.
Me too. Milo and Millet.
Oh yeah, bro.
Milo.
I don't mess with that
Yeah.
cheap shit.
That's what I like. A millet I'm on at the minute, or millet.
Millet Milo.
Before that, I was on WBS before that.
It's expensive though.
It's goat seed.
It's quite cheap there.
New grains. Those tick
you're lucky
beans.
if you can get it cheap.
Those tick beans, for example, they work brilliantly. Red.
You know, I think they all work great. Any grain's going to work great, and this is what I tell people when they ask me. I say, whatever one you learn first is the one.
Exactly.
That's I also got a question actually. Guys, you're speaking about enzymes and stuff earlier. Do you guys add ground grain to your agar recipes?
Yeah, I don't grind it up. I just put a tablespoon of hydrated grain already, and it's gonna.
I saw that in your plates on the agar channel. You literally just got whole chunks of grain in there.
Yeah, that's always the bottom of the barrel. You know, the grain will be in there, and it looks cool, especially if it doesn't fill the plate all the way, because it just looks gnarly. Yeah.
No, it does look good.
Yeah,
you can boil your grain too, and then use the water from that as a supplement if you want to train that way.
And so I got a small pot, and I think I'm running about 8 different grains. I got a blend of them all finely grounded together. I just use a dash of that in my agar mix.
Mm-hmm.
So then, wherever I end up putting it to, it's already developed those enzymes or whatever, you know.
In theory, that's just got the same. That's just a similar method to just using your grain water as in your agar mix.
Yeah, so you don't get that period where your mycelium stalls, where it's trying to figure out after you inoculate it.
Shroom's wording was so it takes the mycelium like 24 to 48 hours to develop those enzymes.
It could take longer than that. It could take a week sometimes.
To digest or whatever, but the fact that you're already in your agar mix,
then it's going to colonize your grain faster.
Yeah, it accelerates the growth. Yeah, exactly.
It's the same concept of drippy corn. where people are adding it's the exact same concept. It's already ready to go and digest. I inoculate using slurricane, so it's basically grain to grain. If anybody's ever done a grain to grain transfer, it's the best, fastest way to, you put a tablespoon of colonized grain into your bag of sterile grain. The next day you've got growth. When you do slurries, it's the same concept. It's already going. You know what I mean? So
I haven't done slurry, but I remember recommending that YouTube video you posted out to a lot of folk in the PT community.
Yeah, slurricane.
I need to find baby bottles. I do.
Yeah, so I'm using silicone condiment bottles now, and I've got probably 10 of them that I use. I've reused them all probably like 4 times, and they're all still clean. You can continuously reuse them.
Yeah, but I need to find baby bottles or something along those lines. Yeah.
You need to get the silicone condiment bottles. I mean, the evolution of baby bottle tech has been years. And originally, it was Amazon wasn't what it was today. So PP5 baby bottles, you get it at the store. They work great, but you have to cut the tip off. That's the things that you're not going to be able to use them over and over again. The way you would a condiment bottle that has the cap that fits over and seals the already hole that's in the mouth of that bottle.
Gotcha.
And ACS, he was looking at these these silicone lamb feeding bottles for the baby sheep that don't have a mother or whatever, and they look really nice. Yeah,
it's a great idea.
Yeah. Ideally, I'd like something that I could change the nipple out on, though. So the silicone condiment bottles are the best I've found, and you can squeeze them to where they're airtight, and then seal it, and then if it remains a negative pressure in that bottle, you know that you've got a solid seal, and you can store it. Makes sense? Point. Yeah.
Good point. Does make sense. Yep. Right. Yep. So next question from Libra is, I pulled a mutation from Enigma recently where it grew 15 mil thick instead of 2 mil fins. What are the chances of stabilizing that or isolating it, I suppose?
It's going to do what it wants to do, I'd say. I'd say run it, keep on running it, and see what happens.
He also added in that he freeze dried them, and he didn't take clones from fresh. What are the chances that he can revive on agar?
What are the chances he's going to what?
Revive
He's
it
talking
on
about talking about reanimating it, a dry specimen. It can be done. You shouldn't rehydrate it.
I've seen it done from a dried fruit at low temperatures, but I haven't seen anything on reanimation from dried.
So was you saying MyCSeE? Was you saying that you shouldn't what?
Don't hydrate the specimen if you're going to try throwing it on a plate. Just make a high newt recipe and take the dried specimen and cut the middle section out of it and throw it on the plate and see what happens. It's been done. And it could be 5-10 years old, No.
It's interesting.
Yeah, as long as the cell walls haven't ruptured, then it'll grow. But I would hydrate it with hydrogen peroxide personally.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, you can do that definitely.
Well,
you don't need to soak it for just like 10 seconds.
Yeah. Or else the centerpiece that you transfer from, give that a spritz with hydrogen peroxide before you put it on the plate. And then also before you put the lid back on, spritz the lid with hydrogen peroxide, seal it up, and go from there.
But to your point, Moon, though, you feel like generationally that it loses its potency or its will to grow. It damages like its vigor, right?
So you were cutting off there for the first part of what you were saying.
Sorry about that. I'll repeat. I think we had a conversation where you thought that there was more than likely that it would damage the potency or its vigor to grow after you reanimated it like that. It's not going to perform the same way, essentially.
So if it's a bacterial, contamination, it can damage the mitochondria. That's why you want to avoid bacteria. A lot of times bacteria is really easy to clean up, but if it's really gotten into, the culture and damaged it, then that's going to be what's repeating as far as mitosis and vegetative growth goes. So if you have something like that that's used to be bombed, then you had a contamination and it's not performing the same anymore, you do need to go back to spore if you want it to perform the same.
So Moon, you're saying serial contamination, and say you manage to clean it up and get it fruiting again, that can lead to potency loss.
It can lead to all sorts of loss. It can lead to an increase in potency even, you never know, but chances are it's going to affect the way that it grows and just the overall performance of the mushroom.
For sure.
Yeah, alkaloids can be triggered by stress responses, alkaloid production, which a lot of times, so Enigma tidal wave 2, that the whole reason that thing came to be is because it was stressed out. That's the way that Magic Myco created tidal wave. He was using all sorts of chemicals and different things to basically do what I'm talking about with water, not bashing magic at all. The dude's the pioneer,
Environmental mutation as a factor.
Yeah.
Not genetic mutation.
Yeah, well, environmental mutation. A mutation is in the genetics, so things that are environmental can cause genetic mutations. So he was using protoplast fusion, which it's not the common protoplast fusion that a lot of scientists would think of, where it's very controlled. He just basically took B plus and penis envy and introduced them to all these things that are going to stress it the fuck out, causing remonokaryotization to occur, causing damage to the cell walls, so that there was the possible anastomosis of different strains, reclamping, and also nucleic acid being shared inside of the wounds of the cells from one cell to another. And throughout that whole process, we got tidal wave. And there's 5 different cuts that came from that. That's why there's the OG tidal wave, there's tidal wave 2, there's tidal wave 3, tidal wave 4, and tidal wave 5. They're not different crosses. They're all the same cross, but they were just different isolations from that big smashed mess of mutations that he created. And that's why tidal wave is the way it is. That's why we have Coke 9. That's why we have cuttlefish. That's why we have Enigma. They're not normal mushrooms. And they are genetic mutations because the traits are carrying on through spore. So versus just different morphologies. Morphologies are different than a lot of people. They post a picture of, look at this golden teacher mutation that I have, and it looks like more of a, I don't know, it just looks like a big dumb mushroom with weird gills, and it's really pretty. That's not necessarily a mutation. A mutation is something where there's actually something that's changed structurally in the DNA. A lot of times, if you clone that mushroom that looks weird, right, it ends up just being a normal golden teacher. Mutations are different. Mutations means that it's changed so that it has actually changed. And they're a lot less common than you think.
So on that, someone's putting a question up saying that they had a thought, what was it? Sorry, of using colloidal silver, is it, to induce mutations?
Try it.
Have any of you tried that or thought about it?
No. This is what I'd say. Even if it's not successful, you're going to learn something.
I also wanted to add on that, and what you guys think about, how a lot of people say rose comb mutations, byproduct of petroleum-based products, like cleaning your tubs out, stuff, for example.
Lysol,
yeah, exactly. They apparently, you clean out a tub with Lysol, and then the next thing your next bin is popping a load of rose comb mutations. Is that clonable or?
Yeah, definitely. but usually that's, you know, if there's a mutation that's occurred, if you clone it, that mutation hasn't left. It's still the same dikaryon, the same two spores. It's just you've isolated stronger fruiting genetics by cloning it.
Yeah, by rose comb, I just mean, you know, like no stem, just pure gills.
Yeah. A lot of times it'll give you that exact same thing, and a lot of times it'll go back to the normal mushroom. If it goes back to a normal mushroom, then it's not a mutation. If I, for example, if I have an enigma-like mutation, a fin mutation, right, and I clone that, it's going to be a fin mutation. It's not going to, you know, it can still revert back to a normal mushroom, but that's going to be more rare.
What do you think about, you know, obviously using colloidal silver? Can you use that to induce mutation?
Do I think it would induce a mutation? I think that it could very likely induce a mutation, or it could just change the morphology, like what these people are calling rose comb mutations. They're not mutations normally. It's just it's a product of the environment, and it's
conditions usually.
To do that. What's that?
That's the conditions usually causing it.
Yeah. That's not an actual mutation. Damage to the actual structure of the DNA.
Yeah, damaged mitochondria from a fungicide in that ingredient.
Yeah.
No, a lot comes down to environmental.
Yeah, and that's going to cause mutations too, and there's things that aren't environmental that can cause mutations. The same way people get cancer, right? You can get cancer. That's an environmental factor that's caused your DNA to change. Or you could have just inflammation. That's an environmental factor that's causing inflammation. Or say you're eating a lot of lectin from plants, and you get inflamed and you have arthritis. That's not a mutation like cancer is, but it's an environmental factor. But you can change that environmental factor, and that goes away. Does that make sense? You can't change the environment that caused the cancer. The cancer is now in your DNA. Your DNA's been damaged. It's going to continue to do that no matter what.
Well, I actually have some dino caps on the fourth or fifth flush right now, and they've started producing some weird gill-like fin/rose comb mutation. I can put on my video right now and show you guys if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
1 second. So obviously you can see this few normal looking fruits here.
Yeah, so that's just your culture getting tired. It's getting end of life. It's almost done, you know, and the morphology is changing. It's probably being caused by all the byproduct that it's eating, and also the lack of nutrients that's left in the sub. That's normal.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's normal.
They look cool though, right?
Yeah, they look cool. They're great. Yeah. And a lot of times those are the super potent ones, the ones that stink like that. Oh yeah.
Exactly. It knows it's dying, so it pumps everything it's got left into those small fruits, and they bang you. They're like aborts, basically.
So Paige has just put up, have you heard of people infusing their own DNA into mycelium, and they produce mushrooms that are more beneficial to their own body? Any input on that?
That's awesome.
Is that like piss tech? I don't know.
That's pretty badass. I think that it's good. I think it's going to imprint. I think that you leave your fingerprint on it regardless if you're cultivating it. But as far as
speak to you
doing it
telepathically.
Yeah, so telepathically, I think that's as long as you're aligned with what you were supposed to be, and you understand that, you know, what humility to the process means. It's going to be there for you, and it's going to give you everything that it possibly can, because you're giving it everything that you possibly can. It's an exchange. So
you don't put a bit of your DNA in every cross that you do, then?
I think I probably got spit and hair, and probably some of my dog's hair in each one of them.
I think that came from cannabis growers saying they can put the seed in their mouth and then using their spit to germinate the seed for marijuana, and then it's supposed to give you like beneficial stuff that your body needs. I guess that's probably a myth that came from that, or like an idea that came from that.
That's some voodoo shit, man. That's some voodoo shit. If it works. I know nothing about that.
Yeah, they're like, just put it in your mouth, get your spit all over it. Put it in
Go ahead and
his
try.
DNA there. That's the body of Christ.
The body of Jesus is in there, guys. Nah, I don't know. There's a lot of things like that we thought was just bullshit, and then it ends up actually having some validity. So I can't say either way, But if I was to guess, it's probably doing nothing.
Sounds crazy though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
I mean, how do you go about proving that anyways? Like,
Right.
you need like CRISPR technology, which they don't give a fuck. They'd rather us not be learning anything about this. So y'all need to get some better internet.
Someone called it nut tech.
Nut tech, yeah. Oh yeah, semen works for sure.
The protein supplement in the agar recipe.
Shh, don't tell people, bro.
Oh man,
It's the only nutrient you need.
It's all you need. It's that chi.
Can I
What crosses are you working on at the moment that you're most excited about?
Black Star. Black Star is Starry Night crossed with Black Magnolia. And I've got the first twins growing on it right now. So
have you all got crosses going? Are you all working new crosses?
For sure, I
it better be. Yeah, Matt's doing some cool shit.
I've been going at it the past couple of weeks. Like, if I even went diving for old swabs yesterday just to put to agar to chase mons. Like, I probably got like 40 plates going of just nothing but swabs, I think, right now.
I'm about to release Meridian Gates. It's Black Betty Gates with Hillbilly Pumpkin, and it's in the tub right now. It's a F1. It already went to spore, back to plate, and you'll see it soon.
Feel free to check me a message, guys, and I'm my DMs are open to swabs.
Send him everything
we'll have plenty
you
of
have.
LC to send over to you guys too. Just check our culture cave.
If you guys didn't know, me and MyCSeE have a store that's opening.
Well, yeah, for sure.
I mean MyCSeE. I said MyCSeE. Me and Mike.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, sorry guys.
BDG.
BD fucking G. Why is there Cosmic up in here? Cosmic, what are you doing, bro? Why aren't you in here? Can we send Cosmic an invite?
Yeah, we can get him in here.
Yeah, let's get Cosmic up in here. That guy's always got something to say.
Request to join, bro.
You're out of control, bro.
Yeah. I'm perfectly in control with having nothing in control.
That's it, baby. Yeah, I just got home from work and let the chickens out, and I walked up into the lab, and the weather has shifted on us, and I didn't turn my AC on until it's 102 degrees inside my lab.
oh,
well, that's fucked up.
Yeah, fun
hey,
stuff.
I've done it before. I've grown shit in fucking homes where people go to fucking die. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It happens. And what's crazy is that lab that I'm thinking of at the very end of my stay there was a big windstorm in Salt Lake and it blew a tree over and it smashed the house in, landed right on top of the lab. I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah. That was gnarly.
Yeah. Cosmic is the only person in here. Cosmic has been with me since my very, very first class. It was a grow along I did.
Yeah, buddy.
The dude's a rock star now.
I can't believe it's been that long. It feels like it was just the other day.
It was, wasn't it? Fuck.
I know.
It's several classes in now.
Right.
Each class takes goddamn a year to do, so fuck yeah.
Yeah. It's been almost 3 years since I started.
Yeah, man. That isn't that long though. 3 years isn't that long. When you're over 35, that ain't shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you have
I just turned 40. Yeah. Yeah, I just turned 40 on March 10th.
Yeah, young and son.
Dude. Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm 12 going on 41 still, so.
Oh yeah.
But I turned 40 last year. I woke up with more aches than I'd ever had.
No, that's
damn.
Yeah.
I woke up cracking.
Yeah. I have started noticing that. Yeah, you hit 40 and that shit starts to happen a lot.
It's the day you wake up on your birthday. You just feel it. I did anyway.
Stop it! You guys are negative. You guys stop that shit. Stop it.
You just got to stay in the gym, stay active. That's it.
Yeah. I just bought one of those mace things. You know, the things you swing, and I was fucking around with it last night because I haven't worked out in like over a year. But yeah, I feel good, man. It feels good.
Oh, the things that they like throw over their shoulder and get swinging.
Yeah, it's like this little baseball bat, dude. It's heavy, but it's got attachments that you can screw onto it, and it gets up to 30 pounds. But 30 pounds is fucking heavy with one of those because all the weight's on the end, you know, and it swings. It's like, damn, that's a heavy 30 pounds. It'll give you a good workout. And I bought a pull-up bar. I like to do pull-ups. So.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buds.
I heard you. What did you say? You were crossing something with Snape?
Yeah, so it's actually a snake bin mutation. It's an Enigma snake that's really fucking cool that I have.
Oh, okay.
That I've isolated. And I am incorporating that into some diamonds that I have. I haven't grabbed mons for a little while since a lot of you probably know I lost my lab completely. Like all of my strains that are out pretty much were all made the same day. And it was just that's what's so cool about doing it the way that I figured out is that you can basically make shit on demand.
Right. It speeds it up wildly faster.
So, yeah, I just need to take a day and grab a bunch of mons and then, you know, come out with the next segment of releases. But yeah, man, Black Magnolia crossed with Starry Night 8 bin mutation.
Hell yeah.
It was nice to see the community come together and help you out with that as well. Obviously, we're all the way across the pond. Like, I got a bunch of your stuff, Moon. If you ever need anything, just let me know, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. And you know what? It was really cool because I lost everything, but I've got everything back now. So some of the stuff was mislabeled though, and I've sold it to people, and they're like, "This isn't that," and I'm like, "You're right." And it's like I have to take responsibility. But for the record, guys, that's not intentional. And whoever, I don't know who gave me what or whatever, so I'm not pointing the finger at anybody. But there were a few mistakes that I've hashed out now and figured out. And
shit happens.
So yeah, shit happens. So you know, I get fucking busy. I get busy as hell, even trying not to be.
I can imagine.
I get people on every platform hitting me up all day, every day, asking for, you know, a menu. And I try to help everybody, but sometimes I can't.
That's hard. God, that's hard what you're doing. It's so hard to do.
It's hard. It's difficult, man, on top of, you know, trying to grow and do everything and, you know.
Well, still using Mika. I'll see you.
Still using what?
Mika.
No, MyCSee's doing all the LC for me, so.
Okay.
It's going to be a big help for me to have him run the store. And then, you know, we're both just going to benefit greatly from it. And hopefully orders get out faster than what they would be normally just going through me directly.
Hell yeah, bro.
I can't wait for that to get done. Yeah.
We'll lock in soon. We'll get something sorted.
Yeah, for sure. Is everybody who's on here, is it, who's MMM? What does that stand for?
It says Mad Marco MYT.
Okay, yeah, that was confusing me because my Discord for the class is called the MMM, the multi-method mating Discord. So it's like, huh? Someone? It's not even mine anymore. Like it's turned into something that's bigger than me. It's, you know, I don't even have a say in my own shit anymore. Just kidding, guys.
Yeah, but also like in as well. I'm sure it's a lot of you guys listening, or even in the chat, in the audience right now, that grow cannabis. I reckon we should get Pablo on. We should discuss some cannabis. We can even get him in right now.
He's in there. If you want to bring him up,
I think it'd be a good idea. Oh, there's a few folk here who like to speak about cannabis.
I can't go weed because I spend all my time with the plants and I forget about my mushrooms. And it's not because I have to, it's because I like to just sit in the fucking tent, you know what I mean? Prune as they grow.
Yo, dude's a wizard growing them, man. Fucking, I couldn't think of anyone else.
What's going on, brother?
Yo,
how you doing, mate?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Yo, your mic's very bro.
Do what now?
Your mic's very quiet.
Oh, let's see. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. What question did you put in the chat earlier?
I was asking the easiest way to get into mycology. What would be the best way to do it? Like I said, I'm a complete beginner. I'm on the canna side. I've been doing cannabis for a little over 10 years now, and fairly decent at it and all that. And I think I want to extend my knowledge a little bit and branch out into mycology. And this seemed like the best place to ask.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the first thing you need to do is forget everything you know about cannabis when you're applying it to mushrooms. That's where you're going to make a mistake. Everybody, I've seen people sell, $100,000 worth of cannabis equipment going all in on shrooms, and then it's, a month passes, everything turns green, and they just wasted $100,000 because they were thinking that they knew. Not bashing anybody who grows cannabis, but it's a completely different thing. I would suggest if you wanted to get into it and just to get a feel for it, I'd buy some colonized grain from somebody just to ensure success, and you could see the grow, watch it happen, and get a feel for it that way to start.
Yeah, I agree. Sounds good. I appreciate the info.
Yeah.
Yep, just get you like some colonized spawn and like a substrate bag or something and get familiar with it.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm willing to put in the legwork and learn.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day is what they said is, you buy some brown rice flour and all this shit, and then you get a spore syringe, and it was just like the idea that somebody was going to have success on their first run was not even, you would not count on it. Like if you were able to get one tiny ass trichoderma covered mushroom after 5 months for your first time, that's success. Nowadays you've got all this knowledge at your fingertips and just available to you, all ready to go, where they've done all the hard work. And I'd say that, just getting a feel for it, being a part of the process and just watching it grow and do its thing before you get into agar or anything.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. When I joined PT, like it was mainly for the cannabis side, and I didn't know a whole lot about mycology at that point. And the more that I delved deeper into PT, then I started learning more about mushrooms, or the little bit that I do know, and actually picked up a good interest for it. And I've talked to several people. I've talked to Platy, I've talked to Shroom, I've talked to a bunch of folks about it, about wanting to get involved, just trying to find out what kind of equipment I'm going to need and things like that. Something small. I'm not trying to quit cannabis because that's my passion. I love cannabis.
You can, yeah, you'll love them both. They're both awesome, amazing, and fun to grow.
Yeah.
You start off small. Don't get a tiny flow hood. Don't get like a 16 by 12 inch flow hood, because that's just going to give you problems. Get a flow hood that's big enough for you to operate under. A small flow hood is for someone who's more advanced, not for a beginner, whereas they're advertised vice versa. A small flow hood is for someone who's advanced, who's on the road, and knows how to operate in that small of a space. Get something decent sized. I'd say, you could build a small flow hood. It's like, I think they got the 20 inch by 16. I wouldn't go smaller than that, but you can get the HEPA filters for just regular air purifiers for that size. That's as big as they go as far as the air purifier filters. Or you can get a 24 by 24. They've got them for pretty good price on Amazon right now too. I got my the 24 by 48s that I'm running right now, the hoods that I'm building. They're actually only $200, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
They used to be like $500 on Google. Yeah, got a store on Amazon that sells them for a good price. You can build a flow hood. So I built two 2-foot by 4-foot flow hoods for under $500 for this operation that I'm consulting right now. And
Nice.
You know, they're worth the exact same. And I build them out of styrofoam, so they're light. And they don't have to rebuild a stainless steel, and they don't need to be sold for $3,000 either. You can build one for way cheap, way easy. It takes like an hour. It's not that complicated. You know, if you have a 2x4 foot flow hood, you're just gonna love it, especially as a beginner, because how do you contaminate something with that much clean air around you? You know.
True.
I would. I'd also like to add in as well that like I went from still airbox to flow hood myself, and I know there's a big like controversy around. I know there's a lot of people who will buy a still airbox. Who will buy a flow hood, sorry, and then they're still having really bad contamination issues, and basically because of like overconfidence. Does that make sense?
Well, it's what it is that you're learning how to play an instrument, and it's going to take. It's harder than learning how to play the guitar, because you don't know that you hit the wrong note until it grows out a week later. You have to go back. Okay, where did I go wrong? What happened here? How do I fix this? And it's there's so many variables, man, when you're working in front. I know just learning how to see what it is you're looking at. Even a lot of times it's already contaminated. You're just transferring contamination. You don't know how to handle that because you couldn't see it.
A lot of newbies can jump straight into the hobby, get a flow hood, thinking it's gonna like solve all their contamination rates, and then they still
comes down to
and then
it's
they still
one of those things.
Plate. You know what I'm saying?
You want to be relaxed, but at the same time, you want to be. It's like relaxed because you're free climbing the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
One wrong move will fuck it up, but if you're stressed out about it, you're gonna fuck up. But everything has to be intentional and flow state. It has to get to the point where you're just moving naturally, knowing, while at the same time being hyper aware of everything.
And see, that's how it started out on the cannabis side with me. I started 10 years ago and didn't know nothing. Just decided, hey, I want to try it. I like smoking, see what's going to happen. And I invested probably $2,500, $3,000, somewhere around there. And it was a okay return. I'll put it that way. It wasn't the greatest because I was just learning. But as I progressed through the years, like now,
you don't need any of that. Right? Yeah, you throw it in the flower pot in the front yard and get better results now, just because you know what you're doing.
But yeah, I'm definitely interested. Like I said, I know all y'all are damn good at what y'all do, so I figured this would be the best place to get the best advice.
Definitely, I'd agree with you there. Yeah, man. Buy some column, that's great.
All info.
Say that again.
The most important thing you can do is do a lot of research. There's so much knowledge on the internet to figure out how to do this. You can have the theory of it all in your mind, before you even start. And the better you have an understanding of the process, you're going to have success like right off the bat. If you get the right equipment, you follow the right procedures, just do a lot of research. You could do this for a year, possibly even before you even try. And then chances are, if you've got it down pat in your mind, it's going to work.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. No one is trying to be a smart arse or trying to boss you around, tell you what to do. At the end of the day, we all want everyone to be successful.
Exactly.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Make sure you run Moondaddy genetics too. That's important. You're gonna get better.
Also.
But yeah,
we all want the best.
Yes, sir. But I heard something about some cannabis questions earlier. If y'all have any, I'm more than willing to answer.
Yeah, definitely. There's got to be a few people who are curious.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody has any questions, I'll definitely answer them.
I'll start it off. So they say like a purple light from lighting. Purple.
You're breaking up, man. I can't understand you.
Sorry, bro. So they say like all those purple strains or those fancy looking buds, they say that's just due down to lighting.
No, that's well, I mean, if the lineage carries purple in it, colder temps will bring it out. Like say Granddaddy Perp. Okay, it's already got purple in its lineage, so 9 times out of 10 you're gonna throw purple. All right, so say you have like Gorilla Punch. All right, that's Gorilla Cookies and Purple Punch. It's gonna throw purples. Like
So it's a characteristic, and at the same time, it can be triggered environmentally. Two different things.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
Yes. Like colder temperatures. Yes, it'll make them throw them.
And you think that colder shock has an effect on alkaloids?
Ooh, to that one, I can't answer that one honestly. I don't know. I'd have to do a little research into that. I don't want to give false information. I'm not that guy. But
appreciate that.
Yes, sir. But I can say colder temperatures, like towards the end of flower, like if you want heavier trichomes and all that, take ice cubes and put on top of your pot and let them melt down. Don't water. Just let them melt down and let it water. It'll cool the roots off and it'll shock the plant. It's a good shock. It won't harm it or anything like that. But it'll sit there and shock it and you'll double your trichome output.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, I've grown a little bit of.
Yo, Pab, are you growing organic or are you synthetic nutrients?
I do a little bit of both. And 110, I have Guy Green. That's what I normally run, the 444 and the 284. And I run 5-gallon pots, and I do 3 tablespoons per gallon of medium. Then I also Kronk Nutrients. I've been using them since they first come out. I run their autoflower blend, and it's actually really, really good. I actually pulled almost 2 pounds out of a 5x5 running that autoflower formula.
And are you running autos?
I run autos and photos.
Nice, man. I ran some autos thinking that it was going to be easier. Going to be further from the truth. I learned that, man, I should have, did this before, or I did it too soon. Whereas, when you're controlling it, when you're controlling it, you decide when you induce flowering, you can make sure that you're where you need to be. Because once you start, as you go into flowering, you can't change it. You can't go back.
Yes, sir. You are correct. But like, you can do certain things to autos that a lot of growers will tell you that you can't, like topping. I top all my autos, and I'm pulling 4 to 5 per. And then they say you can't transplant them. Yes, you can if you do it early enough. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
But as far as the autos, like once you get them started, if something happens early in veg, you have enough time to correct it. But if it happens later on, it's going to hurt you in yield.
Yep.
Like a CalMag deficiency or something like that. Like say the middle of veg or the beginning of flower. If you throw that CalMag deficiency, then it's going to hurt your end result.
Yeah, and see, I've had autos that literally right after they sprout start budding, they start flowering, and it's like, oh man, even though it came from the same batch of seeds as the other ones, they take in a good 30-45 days. Every now and then you get that speed that just starts, and the plant never gets that big. But I also noticed on those ones, the buds are way nicer.
Yes.
Have you noticed that?
I have. You can also go through fast buds. They have what's called fast flowers. And basically, it is a 50-50 split of autos and photos. All right. So when you're vegging it, you can veg it as long as you want to, get it as big as you want. And then when you swap its flower, it flowers like an autoflower. It'll cut 2 weeks off your flower time, and you'll still have great results. I mean, amazing.
Well, that sounds like the fucking future. That sounds like the future, bro. What the fuck?
Like I grew them. I grew the Gorilla Cookies fast flower.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
I think I pulled, it was like 5.5 ounces off of one fast flower.
Okay.
But if anybody, I will say this is not a self-promotion. I don't gain anything from it. But if y'all want to go through Fast Buds and get you some seeds, I am an affiliate. You can use my discount code, and it'll save y'all 15% off your entire order. It's a DSO 420. And
you're not benefiting anything? You should benefit something. You should benefit something. Or they just hook you up for free regardless.
They give you they give you a certain amount of points, and I can redeem them points or something like that, but I don't ever do it. I just help people out.
Well, they should just send you free shit then for promoting, especially in a place like this.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you deserve a little something for promoting.
And then what I'm super about, I'm not gonna say any names, name drop anybody, but I picked up some seeds here a while back. Freak Show. I've never grown Freak Show. They come all the way from Germany. I am so stoked to run them. I have Freak Show, then Freak Show crossed with AK-47, and then Freak Show crossed with Ed Rosenthal Superbud. And I'm stoked to run those.
Yo, those sound awesome.
Yes, please.
Like it's gonna be cool.
Can y'all hear me?
I've been wanting to run them, but I
If
couldn't
there's
never
something
find.
you just know, right? When you know before the fact.
Mm-hmm. But
Right, I'm excited to see.
Can you talk about PGRs and things like that? Because we're seeing a lot of. I live in Colorado, and we're seeing a lot of this stuff that looks like a rock, basically. So, like, can you get that kind of knotted up bud without the use of that, or are they just hitting that on everything here now at this point?
It depends more on your light. Like if you're talking about the density of your buds, like if you lower your light, say 18 to 24 inches above your canopy, it'll be so hard you can throw it against the wall and it won't even bust. Like it'll be hard. Now you can add certain chemicals and things like that to it to get it harder and denser and things like that. But I'm an organic guy, so I try to stay away from things like that. But yeah, if you lower your light down closer to your canopy, 18 to 24 inches, that'll densen everything up.
Yeah, I keep mine closer, anyways.
Mm-hmm. I do too. I try to keep it around 2 footers, so
yeah,
2 footer. Like,
yeah.
Hey, on this topic of cannabis, can I bring something up?
Yes. Are they loose? Are your buds looser, not as dense? Because you're not adding those PGRs in.
Talking about mine?
Yeah.
Oh no, I grow dense buds. I don't. If it's airy, I'll cut the plant.
Yeah. So no PGR needed.
No.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Like I've never ran anything like that. Like I said, all I do is completely organic, except for my crunk nutrients, and that's in the autoflower tent. Like I said, Guy Green. I'll sit there and brew up a compost tea every once in a while and throw in there worm castings. Just normal stuff. Trying to stay as healthy as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like
worm casting.
Bioflower.
I know.
I like that. The Burn Soil 2.0.
At all?
Do what?
Have you used Bioflower?
I haven't.
What do you think about Build a Soil?
I just got in.
Now I do like Build a Soil. Build a Soil.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, or you can go through there and you can turn around and get your specific mix of whatever you want. I love that.
Yeah, the 2.0 usually has been dead on for me every time I've ran it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good shit. Everybody loves Build a Soil.
I actually come across a pretty good deal here where I live. They had bales of soil for sale at this little secondhand store. Me and my wife was going down the road, and I happened to look over and I seen HP Pro Mix, and I was like, "Oh hell, let's go look at this." So we pulled over and I looked at it, bro. They didn't want but $30 a bale. I said, "We're getting 2 of them."
Hell yeah.
So I mean, it works out pretty good as well. I've grown in cocoa. The only thing I haven't done is DWC. Yeah. And that's because it's too tedious. I got too much going on in my life to be able to, sit there and monitor that all the time. Temperatures of the water.
You do organic cocoa?
I do.
Nice.
Yeah, I do. I do organic soil, living soil. I do organic cocoa. Like if I see something that interests me, I'm gonna try my best to learn it, and to the best of my ability. Because if somebody asks me about it, I don't want to give false information.
And what's your preferred soil? What's your preferred medium?
I'm also curious on that. I know about manure.
I would have to say it would either be the custom blend that I got from Build a Soil or the HP Pro Mix. The Pro Mix is good. It's really, really dry when, excuse me, when you get it in the bale and all that. What I normally do is I'll just cut the top of it and get my little solo cup or whatever I'm gonna sprout in and fill it full, and then I'll take a syringe, like a normal like baby syringe, and put 2 shots of it right there in the circle in the center, and go ahead and put my seed there if I germinate in the soil. Now, if I don't germinate in the soil, I'll sit there and soak them for 12 to 18 hours and water and hydrogen peroxide. The peroxide, basically, it softens the shell, and it also eliminates any contaminants that would be in the water to hurt germination. All right. After I do that, I'll sit there and, like I said, put it in the soil. But there's another guy on PT, good dude, good solid dude. I ain't gonna name drop, but a good dude. I talked to him. He's got a 3D printer, and I was like, hey man, I want a can, but I don't want to spend, $60, $70 on an entire kit when I just need the can. And I got with him and Platy, and I was like, hey, do you think we can get a file or something like that? And try to make one ourselves. Well, the guy that made it for me, bro, he didn't charge me but $15 and sent it all the way from the UK to here. And that's pretty good ways. But yeah, $15 as opposed to 60, man, you can't beat that.
No.
And I mean, like it, if you
when you're growing weed, you're getting a lot of that overhead can build up, man. You want to penny pinch as much as possible for sure.
Exactly. And I've used it twice, and I've had excellent results out of it. Basically, you just put a little bit of water in the bottom and put your 2 little pieces in. Go to Walmart or whatever local grocery store, pick up a unbleached coffee filter, 3.75, and cut your hole in the center of it. Cut the center part out. That's pinching pennies, and put it in there, and then basically fill it up to where the water's barely above the seeds. Let them float for 12 to 16, 18 hours, somewhere around there. All right, you'll get a taproot. Then you pour the majority of the water out of it and leave a little bit in the bottom. That way it'll sit there and steam on the inside, basically keep the seeds warm. And that right there, I've had 100% germination rate both times I've used it.
Wow. There you go. Nice. And are you breeding at all?
I'm going to have to drop off, but I just want to say thanks to everyone that came on. And I'm going to leave you guys just to carry on talking. But
we're going to do this every week.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I'm up for it. If we want to do it, let's do it.
Heck, I learned a lot today.
That's what it's all about. Who better to learn from than these guys?
That's right.
But I appreciate it. I'm going to drop off, but thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks for hosting, Platy.
Thank you.
You're the man, dude.
You're the man.
Oh,
take it easy.
The worst in the business, us. Where'd everybody go? Everybody bounce?
I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm still here too.
Still here, bro. I'm still here.
Cool. Well, I guess we have been on for 2.5 hours, but I'm down to go as long as you guys are.
I know Hypnol was gonna host a giveaway. I'm not sure where he's.
Yeah, where'd he go?
Hroom, has Platy talked to you any about doing something like this with cannabis? Me and him have been talking about it.
Nah, bro. To be honest with you, it was a little bit spontaneous. I thought, let's get you in.
We're talking. Me and him's been talking behind the scenes a little bit about it. He wants to do it. Basically, it'd be like trying to think of some Wee Pop Gardening, Stone Barrington, a couple other growers and all that. They're located all throughout the United States, all the way from California all the way to the East Coast. And I name dropped like 4 or 5 of them. And he said something about trying to get it together and doing a big get together like this for that.
Maybe we're all for it, we're trying to bring the community together. You know what I'm saying? The more the merrier.
And the thing I'm glad about. All right, I don't know if y'all know who Base Drop Keys is. He's a cannabis grower.
Base Drop Keys. I can't say I do.
He was a black guy that lived in New Mexico that grew there, and he moved from New Mexico to Nevada. Well, anyways, I was a part of his Discord group, and I was big. I did more in there than I do now at Platy's, and sitting there and talking and helping, and all this mess. And he got to where he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get rid of my Discord, and I'm going strictly Facebook, Instagram, da 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 da." Well, he got flagged on every single one of them, and his profiles got shut down. Well, while he was in the process of that, all the members that was part of his group were trying to figure out how to keep everybody together. And, as a community, because we try to help one another. Like, we're giving seeds, we're sending equipment. Like, dude, I give away 2 grow lights. And
send them to me.
All right, so what happened there is, all right, when he said he was going to delete his Discord and go that route, everybody got together and was trying to figure out how we're going to stay together. That's how my personal Discord come about. Down South Organics, that right there come from that. So I could try to keep everybody together. Man, he found out that I did that to try to keep the growing community together. Not only did he cuss me out on a live, he also banned and blocked me.
Some people still people.
Just for keeping the together. That's wild.
You thought you were trying to steal from them.
I also want to
if he wasn't so insecure, he wouldn't be worried about it. Because the best is the best.
Exactly.
Compete with yourself, dude, while they compete with you.
The bad thing about
thanks for joining in. We all really do appreciate you answering questions, just being showing your presence.
Mm-hmm.
We do appreciate
you're
it.
welcome, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
For real, bro.
Yeah, but anytime, man.
But basically, back to keys, I got banned and blocked and all that, and lost all the genetics that I had that I was getting through there, and people were getting from me and stuff like that, and trying to help the community out. And he started out as a good guy, like a good grower, good community guy, cared about his followers and this, that, and the other. And now he done got picked up by AC Infinity, several other different big name brand grow things. And the money's done got to his head. Dude, he'll get on live and like cuss his followers out and just act wild. And that's why I kind of pulled back from it. That's why I was kind of apprehensive about joining PT and all that with the cannabis side. And then once I got in there and realized that everybody cared about everybody and trying to help one another and all that, I was like, yeah, man, this is where I need to be.
More money, more problems, bro.
That's right. You were exactly right.
Yeah. It's everybody gets so caught up in competing with one another. The ones that everybody's mad at are the people who are competing with themselves, and that's why they're the best.
Exactly.
They're in this shit, you know what I mean?
See, that's how like if I do this grow here and it turns out good, okay, my next one is gonna be better than my last one.
Yep.
Like I challenge myself constantly to evolve and learn.
Oh, bro, that's what you always gotta one up on yourself.
I even got my wife involved. My wife, she has never smoked cannabis a day in her life. Me and her got together. Guess what she's doing? Smoking and growing. Yeah, the autos I was speaking on earlier, like I was running both tents. I was doing the photo tent and the auto tent. And then I went to her one day. I'm like, hey, you come out here and help me. Do you feel comfortable enough running your own tent? I said, if you don't, I understand. That's fine. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. I said, but if you feel comfortable, I said, it's yours. And she's like, yeah, I'll try it. And she's been running the auto tent. As a matter of fact, she's got 11 autos in there right now.
Yeah. That's awesome. Nothing hotter than a girl who's growing.
That's right. You hear me say nothing hotter than a girl that's growing?
It's the shit. Get 2 or 3 of them all together. It's the shit.
Hell yeah, we can party.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Pack a Keystone Light, grow some bud.
Ooh, I don't know about the Keystones. Ooh, no.
Hey, don't you dare.
Hold on. You're saying that? Are you part of Platy's group?
Yeah.
go down to the cannabis side and go down to the very bottom of the cannabis section. It's called Tipsy Turp.